Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome back. My name is Isaac Rhythm Arredondo,
And I am Devin, TheDoc O'Connor.
and we are back tonight with more Miami League of Legends actions. Today is week 2, day 2 of ESC League of Legends action, where the 1-1 Miami Redhawks are taking on the 1-on-1 NIU Huskies. Both teams coming off of a loss to CMU and Kent State, respectively. This matchup should be a good one. But I got to ask, Devin, it was kind of a devastating loss for Miami last week going to game 3. What does the team need to do differently today in order to pull out the W tonight?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because I'm hoping that our team, and of course they have gone through and thoroughly VOD reviewed that series. I think there was a lot of positives that we can take out from what the events that occurred earlier in the week. But I think there is, a couple things that we mentioned on that broadcast that we'd like to see them work on. The main thing that comes to mind, I think, is coordination in these team fights, making sure you're synced up in your ideas, the target prioritization, making sure to isolate the members who are truly going to be the pain in your side in these team fights. So, and also just synchronizing your engages, like making sure you're all on the same page, and having good communication is going to be a big part in making sure that you're successful. It is good to play lane well and do all those things, but there's a lot more that goes into being a successful team. I mean, League of Legends is a team-based game, so every facet, every position is going to have to work in tandem like a well-oiled machine in order to be effective.
So. I agree with all of that, but I'm looking more towards the draft tonight for myself. We saw game 1, we saw a couple of things that we don't usually see some players do. Solo Zach on the Jhin, not really one of his most comfortable champions, more so the Varises, things like that. And we also saw mid lane with the Akali. The Akali pick was a little bit interesting, WGFY. Trying to get a little bit too cute, a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah.
But when switching over to the control mage, really set the pace of the game on that Galio.
Yeah, the Galio, I think picks that will allow him to enable the rest of the team are definitely things that we would like to see more of. Like you said, towards the bot side, those Enchanter, kind of safer, more picks that will establish themselves later in the game.
Right.
Scaling is just a nice insurance for our roster. I think that at least right now, like we mentioned, they're still trying to learn each other's play styles. The playing those flashy picks will eventually have its time, but I think right now, as you are, getting the hang of everything, I personally like a lot of those picks that will basically, like I said this last week, just kind of mask some of those issues early on, and you can kind of just rely on that safe scaling to propel you and be able to actually benefit. Because I think a lot of the times we saw Miami ahead in laning phase, and then they would take a silly fight or makes a poor decision, and then slowly the enemy team would chip away at the gold lead, and there would be like 2 objectives, and then it would just be
blow up.
Yeah, so hard to recover from that point. So I would like to see Miami kind of be more cognizant of that, and make smart decisions, make sure they're all on the same page. And I think that they will really benefit from that, and we should see some great success.
I hope I see some great success tonight. But of course, we got to get through our starting lineups, share some names that you haven't seen yet. Tonight, the Huskies are bringing in the top lane Swole Pingu, a name that we saw last year a little bit.
Yeah, remember that one.
In the jungle, Evan. I think this is a new player of theirs. Beast Fridge in the mid lane.
I feel like I've heard that one.
I think he was there last year as well. And then the AD carry and support are Tebow.
Like
and
Tim
not
Tebow.
A cool dude.
Remember, most dominant college quarterback of all time.
He just didn't succeed in the NFL.
Yeah,
and
it's so weird how that works.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm a Broncos fan. Not a cool dude in the support lane. Hopefully, proving his namesake wrong. I imagine he's a pretty chill guy.
I hope he's a nice guy. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, I trust him.
So. And of course, the Redhawks are bringing back the same lineup as last week. We have Kins, Egoist Nakazawa in the top lane. We have Yongzhen X Lu in the jungle, Jack WGFY Lee in the mid lane, with Christian Solozak Tarzia as our AD carry, with Jen Beans Lu as the support.
Yes. So, familiar faces on the Miami side, and some of the familiar faces, some veterans on the Huskies. So I remember they were a fun team to match up against. So, we'll see how Miami, this iteration of our Redhawks, can stack up, and hopefully we'll get a pretty great series tonight.
Yeah, we just got word that Miami has that NIU has chosen to start blue side for this matchup. So Miami will be on the red side, which will change up pick and bans, I think, a little bit. but both teams do have some champions that overlap, especially looking into the top lane. Last week, both Swolpingu and Egoist played Mordekaiser, one of those champions that can just take somebody out of a team fight, which I think is important for both of these teams because that's just the style that they play. But also, both junglers played Xin Zhao, and looking more into it, they also both play Viego.
Yeah, I like the Viego a lot more than I liked the Xin Zhao last week. I think he struggled to find good uses of his ultimates in these team fights that we witnessed, really making the most out of that damage mitigation and not being able to get. I think Xin Zhao ultimate is really great because it creates a lot of space in team fights for your team. You can use this kind of like an area denial device when you're going for contested smites, but we didn't see the greatest use out of it on the side of the Red Hawks. So maybe pivoting and prioritizing that Viego. But yeah, I mean, I think that definitely keeping in mind those shared picks and seeing if you can either draft up a counter because from my own experience, I think the best thing if you're not going to play your comfort pick is to know what you hate playing into and then try and get good at that because that is always going to be super beneficial because it's just the worst thing because you know exactly what it's like to be on the receiving end of that.
Right.
So I think that is something to keep in mind if that's an angle that we could look to tonight. But we'll just have to be excited and we'll see.
Yeah, well, Devin and I, we need to get our brains a little bit warmed up here, a little bit stimulated. So we're going to do what we always love to do before these league games. And we're going to send it on over to the Luldul. We love the Luldul here.
Sure do.
What's our first guess? I know you love the Ashe angle.
I mean, it's not the ideal guess. Like if we're thinking like in Wordle, it's not like the Crane or it's not like it's not a statistical best. But it's a sentimental thing. So
let's go Ashe.
Yeah, let's run it with.
Let's run it back.
Please. Okay.
Female human Iceborn.
Why does this feel like the same one as yesterday?
Mana range.
Not yesterday.
It's not an 80 carry. We can look. 2009, not Frailure or human Iceborn. I'm thinking it's more human than Iceborn if it's ranged.
It's pretty narrow. I mean, one is exclusive and the other one isn't.
What year is Quinn?
I thought she was. I don't know, like 2012 maybe.
I kind of want to go Quinn.
I like Quinn.
Here. I like Quinn
a lot. Just to get the top laners, but there isn't a lot of ranged top laners. That's the only issue. I'd rather. Okay. Oh wow, he sniped that.
Oh, that's what we. We're so good,
wow.
man. That's what you love to see. The gauntlets for show, the talents
Ezreal.
All me. Oh, yeah, that's for sure Ezreal. Shooting his mystic shots out of the gauntlet he wears.
None of them are this hot.
That belongs in a museum.
He also committed tax fraud.
What is this? How is this oriented?
That's a crows.
Oh, it's crows. It's got to be Fiddlesticks,
yeah,
right?
I think it's Fiddle Storm. Fiddle.
For sure, the Fidster.
The Fiddler.
Yep, Fiddlesticks Ultimate. Yeah, Crowstorm's the R. Lock that in.
Locked.
Dude, I think I know this. Olaf for sure.
Yeah. Chop.
Chop.
I like that.
The Viking. The man of the north.
Oh. Wait. That's even more evidence that it's Olaf.
Double axe and it's Olaf?
It's not.
It's not Olaf. What?
Who else uses an axe? Darius.
Darius uses an axe.
It's not Darius though. But it's 2 axes.
I don't know who else uses an axe other than. Wait. How is it not Olaf?
Yeah, I know. Like Olaf makes perfect
Olaf
sense here.
wields 2 axes.
These people, I feel like the creators have gotten a little bit lazy recently.
We can do a Darius. I think it might be a Darius.
I mean, it could, but like, who else?
It's got to be Darius.
Let's put a Darius.
I don't know who else uses an axe.
Scion.
Oh, Lumberjack Scion.
Oh God.
What?
Just a guy.
It's just a guy.
Just a guy.
Is it Scion?
I don't think it's a Scion. No, it's definitely not Scion.
Scion question mark.
Scion is bald.
Scion is who's a man that wields an axe? That's not Olaf.
I'm thinking junglers.
Mundo
uses cleavers.
Mumbo
jumbo.
It could be Mundo uses cleavers.
I actually don't like. I
genuinely don't know who this could be. People are on their couches screaming at us right now.
I don't know. I'm thinking either it's got to be a jungler or a top laner. No one like throws axes.
It's not Pantheon, Piker, Poppy. No, it's none of them. I don't think it's any of them. Scroll. I don't
No,
think it's any of
no, he
them.
uses a shovel. Wow, this is a cop out.
Wow,
But I
this is
kind of
crazy. That's
not.
none. It's none of them.
Wait, who's in? We have a note from production. Hmm.
Yeah, it's none of them.
Yeah, none of them.
Wait, dude.
What even?
Who is
what are
this?
we looking at?
What?
No.
No, it's none of them. It's none of them.
None of them.
My best guess is Scion. It's not Mbessa.
Not
Mbessa is a.
So who has a mustache?
Dude,
Who's
just
like
give me a
known for
Scion. Just give me a Scion. What is this?
I was thinking like Graves. Graves has a mustache, but he
But
has
Grace
nothing
doesn't use
Yeah.
axes.
Yeah, just lock in a Scion.
Yeah, Scion's our best guess.
I've given up. We need another emoji, Scion.
We do need another emoji. One more emoji will unlock everything for us.
It's gonna be something stupid. Great.
What?
What is it? American Psycho?
It could be Mundo, Businessman Mundo. But
No, it's not that. Unless they're doing skins.
Mundo stonks.
They're not doing skins or anything.
Gotta love our prod
That's
team
like a
around
scaling. That to me, like
late game.
Yeah, it looks like it's like who's an infinitely scaling champion?
Dude, I don't know. Kindred, Senna,
Vigar.
Smolder, Vigar.
Oh my god.
Dude,
what?
wait, who is this? Just actually just give me Mundo. And if it's
yeah.
Mundo, it's crazy. Oh wait, no, it's not Nasus. It's not
No.
Nasus. It's not Nasus. Give me a Mundo.
It could.
What?
Money.
I think Braum because of that one skin.
I'm thinking Graves, bro.
It's not Pike. Oh my gosh. Give me Graves.
Graves.
Give me Graves.
Like what else would locking in Graves.
Yeah, give us Graves.
I don't know, this is tilting.
This is unreal.
What?
All right, hold on. Go through go through alphabet.
Yeah,
in
we're
order.
getting desperate at this point.
We are getting
just
desperate.
Give us
This
letters.
is desperation hours.
Yeah, I've never had this happen before.
Nobody
None
in
of
A.
those.
Yeah.
B.
Or you can just go by keyboard. None of that.
No.
Oh no, yeah,
No.
none of them.
No.
None. Nope. Draven.
No. Oh
Draven.
my god! Wait.
It's Draven.
Yeah, but
It's Draven.
How is? Oh my god!
How did we forget about Draven? Dude, that is totally on us.
Axes?
That is totally on
no,
us.
wait, that's so obvious. Though.
Oh, sorry to all
But
the folks at
The thing
home.
is, like when you think of him, he uses the spin. His passive is spinning axes.
If they did
but
an axe,
So
and
they
like a
don't look
spin,
like axes, though. They look like
No, they don't.
like swords.
This is a mage. I want to say it's not Rise. Whose
What
knee
the-
is that?
What? There's like some sparkles.
You know this one? You know this one, Prod?
I think this is a bewitching skin.
Oh, it's Misfortune. It's Bewitching Misfortune. No, it's
I think it's Nico.
I think it's Misfortune, low key.
Just try Misfortune.
I think it might be
think it's
Misfortune
Nico,
because it's
bro.
Misfortune like that. I think it's MF.
I think this guy's wrong.
I am wrong.
I know it's a bewitching skin.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Prod.
Prod.
Thanks, Prod.
Let's try Nico.
I'm down to try Nico. It's not Nami. Nami doesn't
I
have
don't even know what
knees.
that is. Is that a hat? Or is that a leg?
It's dude. Are we
I think we're off
are
our
we
game.
washed?
I think- Oh wait,
Wait, no. If Prod knows this one, it's Neela. If Prod knows
Yeah,
this one,
it's
it's
Neela.
Neela.
Let's lock
It's
a
got to
Neela
be
in.
Neela if Prod knows this.
Like Coven?
There we go. For those of you who don't know, our producer absolutely loves Neela, only plays Neela.
Oh, Ink Shadow.
Oh,
That's a new
I've
skin.
never seen that skin before.
It's new. That's why I don't know it.
Ink Shadow Neela. I've never seen that before.
They've run out of skins.
Dude, our producer loves Neela.
Yeah, he's kind of a one trick. Bit of a bum.
Awesome, man. Not our finest showing all
No,
the
that
Waldo
was-
today.
That was embarrassing.
Not the finest showing.
Can we
but
move on to another
it
game?
is
I don't
what
want
it
to.
is.
Don't show me right now.
that
That Draven. That
Draven
might
was
just take me out,
embarrassing.
dude.
That and
That's
Draven
ruined
might
my
be
week for real.
top 10 embarrassing moments for
Yeah.
us.
Ball State's gonna hear about this.
Ball State will hear about this.
We're gonna hear.
Again, this is my challenge to all schools in the ESC conference. What the heck is this?
What?
If you guys cast your games, please do the Luldo. We want to see how you
Production,
guys do.
Can you explain this to me? Because I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Okay, we are told that this is food from European soccer games, and we are to guess which one more people would buy. It looks like we have prices there in the bottom as well. I think I just have to go to the hot dog with this one.
I think so too. But
the
it's
hot
in
dog on the right
Spain.
side, on
But it's in Spain.
the Spain hot dog, the Barcelona.
Again,
Who's
we gotta
eating
think
that?
about
Pizza. It's the pizza. Wait. I thought those were fish.
I feel like
thought
it's
those
like
were fish.
fake.
I thought those
It's
were fish.
in.
Hold on.
We're in France.
Jerk chicken and rice for 10.
They have no culture.
Do the jerk chicken, I think.
Jerk chicken and rice. That's England.
But for $10? Yeah.
Oh my
god. Pot noodle or loaded fries, both England.
Loaded fries. Come on. Chicken and mushroom is gross.
Yeah, the pot noodles have chicken and mushroom. I got to go with the loaded fries as well.
Look at those. Those look great. I eat it right now.
Okay. Shout out. We're on a roll.
Ew.
Ugh. Both of these are terrible.
Okay, but it's England. It's gonna be pie, peas, and gravy. Let's be real. Whatever the most gross one is usually.
Yeah, I think Chorley FC or Retford FC.
Let's go left here, Bob.
But this one has steak.
No, let's go
and
left
you have to
here,
think
Bob.
about Americans doing this.
No, it's left. Is it Americans?
I think it's like everyone, but you have
it's
to.
Everyone's. Then it's gonna be.
I trust my co-caster on here.
It's gonna be left.
We'll go pie, peas, and gravy. Nice, good pull.
I watch a lot of Top
Good
Gear.
pull.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh my gosh, both of those look good. Look at that bagel, man.
Yeah, I'm
Salt
thinking
beef
bagels. I'm thinking
salt beef or salmon for
Yeah.
sure. The bagels.
Yeah, bagels.
For $8.25.
If it's not bagels, they're just wrong.
It's got to be the bagels.
Oh my god.
That's fair. That's a toss.
It's another jerk chicken.
Loaded fries or 2 lamb gyros.
It's
the gyros.
It's right.
It's
right,
Australia.
Right. Nope.
No, who cares about the fries? Yeah.
That's what I would get.
Chips with Nutella.
Gross.
Those are called French fries, by the way.
Pizza and beer.
USA.
I love beer.
USA.
Let's get the beer.
Chicago Red Stars. Who are the Chicago
Watch,
Red Stars?
it's a trick question. Yep.
Who are the Chicago Red Stars?
Bro, absence of food culture in the
UK. Korean fried chicken. It's
currywurst. No, currywurst is super popular in Berlin. I've
never been to Germany.
I went there and it's super popular.
I'll let you pick.
But it's kind of touristy.
I'll let you pick. I feel like it's the Korean fried chicken.
I think I'm because it's in Berlin. I think the currywurst is a good bet.
We'll go currywurst. Oh, dude, it's always the Korean fried chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken fried tacos or the
slide.
Whoa.
God, that sounds good.
For $20, you get 6 burgers, 4 mozzarella sticks, beer battered onion rings, and tater tots.
That's kind of a deal too.
Oh, but it's in Kansas City.
Oh, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I've been there, but
I mean, it's going to be that one.
Yeah,
you have to go to Kansas City.
I don't even know what the other thing is.
Kansas City, of course, in the state of Missouri, not in the state of Kansas.
And they're moving their stadium to Kansas. The Chiefs.
Yes, they are. Chips and cheese.
Give me the $1
hot dog.
Cleveland.
Go Guardians, baby. I don't even watch the MLB.
Can we get a Rockies one, please, so I feel something?
Tough. 6 out of 10. That's fine. Of course, the main focus of tonight, though, is the matchup between NIU Huskies and Miami University Red Hawks.
My main focus is those loaded fries.
I am kind of getting hungry, too.
On.
But we'll get draft to you just in a second. We're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And here we are for the draft. We see NIU taking Talia off the board, Frame 1, and Jinx as the response from Miami University.
So not wanting to trade that Jinx because they obviously have first pick. I think that's one of the other contested picks. So yeah, not giving that one over seems like a smart call to me. Maybe saving it if Miami enters the blue side later on in the series. Mordekaiser also going to get the ban. Another shared pick, Kaisa, some more of those carry style hyper scaling ADCs.
Yep.
Gwen as well.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Gwen for a while with how strong she is with Dusk and Dawn.
Yeah, Wukong also getting the axe as well.
Whoa, Darius and Mbessa locked in for the top lane. Swole Pingu, we know, loves Darius, but Egoist is a big fan of the Mbessa.
I'm always a little worried because I feel like Darius is such a lane bully. Like Mbessa is like 400 years champion, a million dashes, but I feel like if he just E's and W's and does the things, Darius is just so annoying to play against.
Jarvan and Xin Zhao locked in for the junglers with Orianna and Janna. Rounding out. Of course, that Orianna is going to be piloted by Beastridge and the Janna by Beans.
So I like the draft from NIU so far. Pretty typical outside of the Darius. It doesn't seem like a bad lock-in into the Mbessa. As far as Miami, Janna, not a pick we see a whole lot.
No.
She kind of struggles to find her place in a lot of the current meta. But yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. She can shield towers. That's kind of fun. Jarvan as well, usually paired up with the Orianna. We see it across.
Yeah, the draft from NIU too. Xin Zhao and Orianna and this Varus are all champions that played. They played in the first game against Kent State on Monday. The only change was that in their top lane they did have that Mordekaiser. I wonder if we'll see the Rel by Not a Cool Dude, and there we go. Wow. So this is the exact same draft that NIU played in their game one against Kent State, minus they have Darius instead of Mordekaiser. We do see a Corki locked in for solo Zach.
I like Corki. I think it's a good kind of like stable pick. Does a lot of damage in the team fights. You got to land those rockets, but it's good into what NIU is showing. I haven't seen as much Corki. Like he's definitely still a pick that's pretty popular, especially, but more so later into the Fearless.
And Galio, the last pick. This is what we kind of wanted to see from Miami University and specifically WGFY. And I think this Galio pairs great with this Jarvan, where Jarvan can go in, ult that Varus or Orianna, and WGFY on the Galio can just heroic entrance right on in.
Yeah, and I think this is a game for Miami to peel their Corki. It's going to be a big burden for him on his shoulders in terms of win condition and damage. Obviously has that percentage of his damage being dealt as true damage, which is going to be pretty helpful. I think that NIU is going to do whatever they can to try and get on top of him, try and take him out early in these fights. So we'll see if Miami's jungler, their mid laner, can kind of play bouncer effectively. The Janna, obviously, I'm keen to see how that plays out, both at laning phase and in these team fights. I think Janna sometimes struggles a little bit in team fights to like make the same impact. She can obviously like poke with her nados, but they have this charge up and delay, and but she does have that ultimate, which is really nice if they try to collapse onto the Corki.
Well, I really like this Janna pick into the things like Xin Zhao and the Rel as well, because of course Rel wants to dive in on the team, and even a quick hurricane from Janna the Tornado will stop that Rel dash and will stop the Xin Zhao dash as well. So a little bit of protection, like you mentioned, for Corki. But I think the main things that we want to look towards this game is that early game in the top lane. Darius, of course, is a monster, has an unbelievable passive. So I think Egoist has to play around that a little bit. I mean, they're both really high caliber players, but I think that's going to be one of the determining factors early. And then we're looking for 6 for Jarvan and for Galio. Because once both those ultimates come online, the game just changes.
That is true. It's going to be a kind of a lane game in terms of who can rotate for these objectives. And I think Darius, like you mentioned, is just one of those really oppressive picks that, any top laner, if you give a kill early, is going to feel really tough to kind of recover into. But I think Darius is just so oppressive in terms of his ability to just shape the lane and control it at these early levels.
With the change in in all lanes with the quests, I wonder if Swole Pingu is going to go for a more offensive summoner choice as well. You can take the Ignite and the Ghost at level 1. And then once you complete your quest, you'll also have that teleport. So If Swolpingu decides to do that, that'll give some more kill pressure in the early game. I'm wondering if Egoist does the same. But I think summoners are going to be something to look at as we get into the game.
Yeah, especially like you mentioned with those changes. And yeah, I mean, in terms of other role quests, I think that both, I mean, mid laners is probably he's going to build like the sorcerer shoes
Yep.
or on the Oriana, but also actually they had to nerf some of the I believe it was the MR boots and the chain link one. So both the MR and the armor boots because the shields they were giving a lot of squishy mages were building them just because of the amount. It was kind of like a get out of jail free card. So we'll see if they still opt to build those as well. But yeah, I mean, both interesting draft for both sides. More standard, I'd say, towards the side of NIU outside of their top laner, like I mentioned. But their objective is pretty clear in terms of these fights, and we'll see if Miami has all the tools that they need to kind of make it a lot harder for them to hop on top of this Corki and not let him hit in these fights.
Yeah, one last point too before we get into this game. This Oriana, I think, has a couple of great ball delivery systems
for sure
in the Xin Zhao, in the Rel. I think it's going to be really imperative that Beans has some tools to get those two champions away. I mean, Janna, of course, has great tools with the ultimate and with the tornadoes. So I think we're going to be looking a lot at that Janna in the team fights, and we'll have to track that ball as well. Because if it's on Xin Zhao, I mean, it could spell disaster for the side of the Redhawks.
Yeah, and Xin Zhao definitely has a lot of tools to avoid some of the poke that Miami's going to be trying to toss his way, or more specifically with the Corki. So we'll see how they decide to navigate that. But yeah, I'm interested to see these early scuffles on the objective, see how that shapes the game. Obviously, that's something that sort of was a thorn in Miami's side early on.
Right.
But we'll see how they can respond this time around.
Yeah, well, we like the drafts, and we're hoping for a great game one. But we'll get that to you when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere. And here we are on the Rift for game one. Already we see a little bit of action between Swolpingu and Egoist here on the top lane, which is kind of something that we figured we would be seeing.
Yeah, action is definitely destined in this laning phase. And we did see the electrocute there procced by Egoist. Interesting. We can't exactly see the overlay right now, but that's a cool rune choice for some of this trading.
Swolpingu looking like he's trying to get some lane priority, or not lane priority, but some positioning to intercept some minions if they were coming.
Yeah.
Egoist, of course, having to respond so he doesn't get taxed too much. Looking at some junglers, it looks like Jarvan started on the top line and Xin Zhao started on the bottom.
Ooh.
But Miami did get a ward in the red buff, so they do know where the Xin Zhao is at the moment, or has a rough idea of where Xin Zhao is.
Egoist pathing back, but it looks like we got an early gank here from the Jarvan level 2. Swolpingo not going to be expecting it. Used his Q.
Yeah, X coming up here in the top lane, looking for something cheeky. Is going to wait to put down the flag. There it is. Flashes the drag, but they do get the kill. Egoist and X tag team for first blood.
Egoist missing a few abilities there, making it a pretty close call, but the extra damage from the Jarvan was enough to get the job done, and that is huge. Dying early, going to lose this entire wave is the Jarvan. Meanwhile, mid lane, more just standard trading. It looks like another good laning phase from the Galio. Obviously, having that extra magic shield is going to make things a little bit easier to tolerate, but we do see the invade over here.
Yeah, kind of looking at summoners, we do see that Swolpingu has opted for Flash and Ghost, no Ignite, but Evan successfully stealing away the blue buff. Some members of NIU there to support. Beans coming up as well. Nothing going to come of that. Looking at some runes, Conquer on the two junglers, or Conquer on the two junglers and the Darius. Nothing too out of the ordinary.
We did just see Rel kind of be stuck between a rock and a hard place, forced to use that flash early on. Not going to have that access to that in lane. Hold on, though.
Great response from X to steal away the blue buff. Does get it in response to Evan taking his own. So pretty even trade here from the junglers, but we do know that Egoist and X are up a little bit from that first kill onto Swolpingu.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to find each other on the Scuttlecrop. Doesn't look like it. And it looks like some aggressive trading as well in the mid lane. Egoist roaming down just to be sure that nothing comes out of that. Swolpingo just collecting this wave happily under his tower. And Jarvan pathing more towards the bottom side. Get that crab as well. Going to get the double scuttle. Beast Fridge taken incredibly low. We did see the mid laner of Miami taking some aggressive trade patterns. And Orianna losing this lane early on, not necessarily how you want it to be going. Galio sitting pretty.
Yeah, WGFY getting some nice pressure into this mid lane early, and X on that Jarvan getting double scuttle is pretty big. So now Miami will have knowledge of both scuttles for this time of the game, but Beans getting engaged upon by not a cool dude. The Rel trying to do as much damage as possible. Solo Zach pumping in a little bit of damage on the back end, trying to find an arrow from T-Bone, but nothing will come of that. X wrapping around from the back. We'll see if something comes of it. Doesn't have the flash just yet, but there's the flag. There's the drag. Does get not a cool dude on the Rel. Rel able to hop out, but a great tornado from Beans catches Rel, and it's going to be another kill for the side of Miami University. T-Bone flashing in aggressively, but the shield from Jarvan will keep X alive for now. I don't know if Miami's going to continue going into this, but it is one kill for the side of the Redhawks. Meanwhile, some action in the mid lane. WGFY getting tag teamed by Beastfridge and Evan. I don't think Evan is going to follow this one through with Beastfridge being so low. So a great trade all around for the side of the Redhawks.
Yeah, not enough to get the counter gank there in the mid lane. And T-Bone using his flash all for naught. Unfortunately, Jarvan shield going to stop the follow-up damage needed to secure that kill. And great target prioritization from Miami there, knowing the Rel had used her flash earlier in Miami's jungle and are able to take her down with the gank from Jarvan. So huge play there. Corky picking up the kill. Going to be happy about that one. And overall, Miami pretty comfy in pretty much every lane across the board here.
Yeah, notably too, NIU, the bot lane, used both of their summoners, used all summoners except for the barrier onto T-Bone. Meanwhile, Beans only expending the heal. So Solozak still has both summoners up if they want to look for a little bit of an aggressive play. X, of course, didn't have the flash to use. So a really great trade in terms of gold and summoner usage for the side of the Redhawks.
Yeah, it does look like that Egoist did opt for the Ignite, so it might help with some of that healing off the Q from Darius. And we do see that, interestingly enough, I see a Ghost on the mid lane. I haven't seen that too much on Galio. I like it, though, because he does not get the TP like the top laners do from the lane quest.
Well, Galio kind of has like a fake TP with the heroic entrance. So, but yeah, like you said, it's usually you do see the teleport on that champion. A little bit unorthodox here. Swolpingu pressing up in the lane a little bit, establishing some dominance onto Egoist. That gold lead too from the first kill has diminished a little bit too. Pingu just has a nice CS lead so far, 10 up, 6 minutes into this game. But here we go again. We see X pathing down onto the bot lane. T-Bone stuck in a hard place, just getting autoed down by Solozak. They don't even have to use the flag and drag, but there it is onto Not a Cool Dude. T-Bone going down. Solozak with the phosphorus bomb doesn't find anything onto Not a Cool Dude, but that is another kill for the Corki and another kill for the Redhawks.
Zinzao kind of torn on where to go or on the top side of the map, and again, just a snap engage.
They do see Zinzao is in the jungle too on the side of Miami University, so Miami's going to start this dragon up while WGFY tries to spot the Zinzao. Zinzao is collapsing. WGFY stuck in the middle. Zinzao will dash in, getting some damage into WGFY. Gets the knockup. WGFY forced to flash, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Phase rush, procking in. He gets out of there. It is a great escape from WGFY, and it's going to be the dragon going to Miami as well.
I'll just keep my mouth shut because the Ghost there providing insane amounts of value, getting him out of that precarious situation. Follow-up flash from Evan as well to try and catch him, but he sneaks out just by the hair of his chitty chin chin, and Beast Fridge and WGFY staying for this wave, going to try and pick it up, and still both junglers in the area hanging around, maybe trying to get a play.
WGFY looking to bait a little bit for X here, but the Zinzao is here as well. They're just going to walk out of that one.
Yeah, so looks like no more follow-up action. We do see the crystalline overgrowth building up on all of these towers, and I'm surprised not as much action towards the top side after that initial gank. CS, sort of even, I'd say Darius is definitely going to be favorite in that department early on. Varus landing a nice arrow there on the Corki, but Corki 2-0 does have the Sheen item, and that will start to benefit him. I imagine he's looking towards that Essence Reaver, which is now recently changed back to the mana, I believe. I think it has that ability again.
Yeah, and here we see Miami starting up the grubs. Beans with a great rotate just to help out if needed. Egoist getting that lane priority to also help as well. But like you mentioned, that Sheen is a huge power spike for Solozak. That just makes everything that Corki does way more powerful and hurts a lot more, especially with those rockets that Corki can pop out.
Yeah, Zinzao definitely a good pick in that regard, just because with his ultimate, he can dodge a lot of the poke that Corki has. A lot of it's pretty long range.
Solozak right now doesn't have vision of Evan right now. Evan going to wrap around Solozak by himself. Beans is here in the bush, here to protect Solozak if need be. Great roaming, great timer, and a great result for Miami.
Yeah, still has that Valkyrie just to get out in case anything gets dicey. And the flash, both sums of the rail back up, and the flash, the flash and the barrier of Varus going to be back up very shortly. Solozak still has access to both of those, as well as Beans. And yeah, not too much happening on the map after those grubs. Beans kind of aggressively posturing. Missile going to go wide there. Solozak pedaling back. A lot of pings towards the top side.
Yeah, I think Miami might have vision onto Zinzao there, but taking a look at the gold. But here we go. We have a little bit of fight. X caught too far deep. Swolpingu doesn't have the ability to rotate just too fast, but like we mentioned before that little skirmish, looking at the gold, totally missed Shockwave by Beastridge. But Solozak is the richest man in the game by 400 gold, and that's got to feel good for the Corki.
Yeah, feeling very good, especially because we mentioned that he is such a core part of this comp. Obviously, you have the Ambassador to do damage, but Corki being the main damage dealer on this team is definitely evident from the draft. So having him be the one who's the recipient of a lot of these ganks, a lot of this gold, is going to be something Miami is very happy about.
Yeah, that was an odd shockwave that we saw from Beastridge too. I think WGFY was just pushing a little bit too far in the turret, and Beastridge was looking on something to capitalize, but just completely whiffed, and that's a key summoner or a key ability to have down looking for this next fight possibly in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's looking like he tried to use kind of some of the characteristics of the shockwave to both clear the wave and pull him into tower range so that there was no minions there, and maybe take a tower shot, try and force out a flash maybe, something like that, but he doesn't even have it up. So definitely a bit of a questionable call there. And like you said, won't have it available for the next scuffle. We do see Zinzao on his Krugs in the area, and is going to be spotted out with that Scryer's Bloom.
Yeah, WGFY roaming down, getting vision on Evan. Does have the lane priority to use the heroic entrance if needed. X also pinging down. It might be that they're looking on a look are looking for a fight onto T-Bone and Not a Cool Dude. X sweeping the ward, trying to get into the bush here, seeing if they can bait a little bit from here. But T-Bone and Not a Cool Dude, I think, expect something's happening.
Hold on,
Hold on. Not a Cool Dude walking up. They're going to find T-Bone maybe. X being very patient, playing games here in this bush. Not a Cool Dude walking up. Still doesn't see X. This is a clown fiesta we have here.
He's almost delaying his back. At this point, you got to maybe pull the trigger.
And there goes the trigger. X getting the knockup onto Not a Cool Dude. T-Bone forced to flash out. Not a Cool Dude as well. They do get the Chains of Corruption onto X, and that will end the skirmish in the bot lane. A use of Boast Flash for both NIU members and the use of the ultimate from the Varus.
Should deliver them the Dragon. Solozak taken incredibly low. Huge chunk there at the end after the Chains of Corruption. But the Chains of Corruption used very well to stop the engage there. And we'll see if Xin decides to contest this. Looks like he still is towards his top side. Galio in the area as well with that heroic entrance. And looks like Rel is backing off.
Yeah, Miami, with all the priority in the world, is going to start taking this Dragon. And this is great macro that we're seeing from Miami. They look a lot more cohesive than they did just on Monday. I mean, X playing super patient. Both members of Miami waiting for the trigger to be pulled. And that's kind of the communication that we wanted to see. The Dragon taken. X looking for something onto Beast Fridge possibly. I don't think Beast Fridge has any vision. And there's the ultimate. Beast Fridge forced to flash out. X putting so much pressure on the members of NIU. That is 3 flashes blown in just the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, when he's not getting a kill for his laners, he's getting a summoner. He's delivering value, and then he just repeats the gank later in the game and always manages to find something. So huge amounts of value being added for his team, making his lanes so much easier.
And here he comes again, hiding in the bush where there's the control word, Beast Fridge. Not a clue in the world. But WGFY backing off, so I assume that X will do the same. In the top lane, things are just going from bad to worse for Egoist. That lead from the First Blood almost gone. You know, with Swole Pingu up almost 20 CS here in this game so far. But
Yeah.
Solozak building a nice lead for himself in the bot lane.
Yeah, Darius definitely a lane bully, will just kind of accumulate a lead through the nature of the champion, playing the lane well. But Ego is going to have guaranteed value with the public execution in these team fights. Just laning that on Varus is the name of the game. Solozak again pushing through here. I really like what I've seen from the Janna so far. I think that Beans has gotten a lot of value out of her abilities, making sure to play these ganks really well. More of an aggressive Janna.
Yeah,
But, definitely still love to see it. Some vision going to be contested here.
Possibly
And more
we'll
plays
see.
mid lane. It looks like a flash being blown, and maybe they're trying to find more on this Orianna. We can't exactly see what's going on. No kills yet.
Yeah, WGFY and X going in onto Beast Ridge, but here we are in the bot lane with Evan. There's what we talked about with the tornado from Beans, but the Magnet Storm is just going to catch her out, trying to hold everybody away, but the arrow from T-Bone is just too much. A little bit late from the heroic entrance by WGFY. That is going to be a kill for the Huskies, and nothing in return from Miami. I wonder what was happening in that mid lane like you mentioned, because I did see that WGFY's flash is down now. Maybe
Yeah.
trying to look for something onto Orianna, and things just didn't quite pan out.
Yeah, it looked like an aggressive play to kind of dive her under her tower. It looks like she was able to skirt out of it. And Miami, again, trading or going to fall, get Varus on the board there in the bot lane. And yeah, I mean, I think well played from Beans. Used the you said the Hurricane, the Hurricane well on the Janna. Or yeah, unfortunately, heroic entrance just a little bit too late, preoccupied by the activities that were going on there in the mid lane.
Yeah, Egoist, of course, now that the lane quest has been completed for him, both top laners do have access to that teleport. So Egoist has the flash, has the ignite, and has the teleport. But here we go, a 3-man look onto Swole Pingu. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. The flag and drag for X will knock him up. The ultimate to secure the kill for Egoist. That is going to be 1 for the side of Miami. But in the mid lane, Beast Ridge trying to find something onto WGFY. But Not a Cool Dude is here, looking to find a charge onto, does get the stun onto WGFY, but Beans and X are here as support. Evan following just a little bit behind. Are they going to turn on him? They do. Evan dashing into X, knocking him up, but WGFY very weak. Shockwave only going to find Beans. WGFY getting out of there, but Beans might fall here. A flash used by Evan to secure the kill. That is another one for NIU, but a couple of flashes burned, so 1 for 1.
Yeah, it looks like Miami really didn't have a good idea of wanting to go in, wanting to disengage.
Looking for more. Not a Cool Dude spotting out the backing of Egoist. X caught in a bad place too. Egoist going to use the Blast Cone to get out, but that is going to seal the Jarvan's fate. It's one more for the Huskies.
Yeah, and that's going to be Herald as well. It looks like kind of a disastrous play overall there from Miami, trying to find some support for their. Ooh, hold on, missile going to go wide there. But it looks like Miami was trying to figure out: do they want to engage? Do they want to uh, do more damage? But it looks like that was eventually a downfall as NIU was able to get the numbers advantage once again, and just kind of were able to cut off Miami one by one. And yeah, the kind of the overstay there in the bush going to get caught out, and that's a huge swing of gold.
Yeah, a little tech pause there, but everything seems to be up and running now, so we're back right into the game. But Devin, this is kind of what we mentioned we want to see Miami do, kind of more communication, more talking, and it seems like they're playing a lot better as a team in this game than they did even back on Monday.
Yeah, no, it totally looked like a different team to me in the first 10 or so minutes of this game. Playing coordinated, playing smart, making good decisions. But then again, all it takes is one.
Shockwave from Beastfridge, a great prediction onto the dash from WGFY, but Beans is here to support. Egoist going to use the TPX in the area as well. Going to use the public execution to find something onto the Oriana. The Just a Punch going to knock up Evan, but Beans stuck on the front lines there at Miami University, going to back up a little bit, but we do see Corky on the other side of the river going to find his way in. Egoist taking an arrow to the face, not a cool dude, looking for something on to Beans possibly. They are going to drop Herald here in the mid lane. I don't think it has enough to take this tower, but X on the bottom of your screen is going to get caught out, has the flag and drag away. The Herald not doing too much to the tower, not taking it down, and we're still posturing here, maybe looking for a fight around this Dragon. Dragon is up. Miami has opted to take it. Miami knows where all the members of NIU are. Egoist dashing in, getting a little bit of damage. Two knocked up from the tornado from Beats, but a huge magnet storm from Not a Cool Dude catches 4 members of Miami. Egoist on the top side of your screen trying to pop the AD carry. Solozak meanwhile pumping out so much damage, and Miami has found a way to turn this fight around. That is 3 kills for the Red Hawks. Try to make it 4. Flag and Drag knocking it up, and it is 4. That is 4 kills and the Dragon for the Red Hawks.
Great positioning there by Solozak. Good flashes away, making sure that he stayed alive in that fight, was able to do so much with his Valkyrie as well, setting that on the ground. Beans, great job of keeping him alive as well. And Egoist able to get access to the back line and just kind of dance around the fight as we see Ambessa's do. And man, it looked a little scary early on. We saw that great snap engage by the Rel, but Miami able to respond with a counterpunch. And they just had the damage necessary to get the job done at the end of the day. And that is the 3rd drag. That's sole point for Miami. So the next drag is going to be the Cloud Soul, which is insane. Great on a lot of their champions.
Yeah, that fight was imperative for Miami. They're playing this map really well, already having 3 dragons 18 minutes into this game. But I got to shout out Beans. This is kind of what we talked about. Beastridge Shockwave caught 4 members of Miami that were there. And as soon as NIU engaged upon all of them, Beans just sent them all right back out.
Yeah.
Great protection for the team. Lets Egoist get on the back line onto T-Bone. Doesn't let him do the damage that he wants to do. And that's how you turn a fight around.
But it looks like they might go for a dive here, XM in the area.
Rel using the Hex Flash over doesn't get the Shattering Strike onto Egoist, so they're just going to back out of that one. 30 seconds on the Rift Herald, or on the Baron, excuse me. I don't think either team is in the position to take it just yet. But Miami in firm control of this game. Solozak might be a little bit overextended. Not a cool dude trying to chase him down. But Evan is here as well. The heroic entrance from point blank. I think Solozak's just going to be caught there. And maybe WGFY going down here too. Trying to use the taunt. Getting 3 members flashing out. Jarvan is here to support, and WGFY gets out as well. A little bit of an overextension from Solozak in the mid lane.
Yeah, just trying to pick up some of those platings for himself. Unfortunately, going to pay the price for it. Flash used by WGFY, but it seems like it was. I mean, I don't know if he needed a flash there, but good to make sure that it isn't another pick, especially with the Baron spawn. And NIU not going to opt to do that, but we can't have those careless makes. Can't be getting caught out mid lane, especially as the game goes later and later, because that could easily turn into something on the map more meaningful, especially as we start to see the Drakes going to be up in 2 minutes. Got to avoid those kind of careless mistakes. That was what doomed more particularly, I think, Egoist last week or earlier in the week in terms of those death timings.
Yeah, and Solozak with that gold lead doesn't want to throw that away, wants to stay in firm control, pumping out all this damage in the game. If Solozak goes down, that's a lot of the damage that Miami has just out of the fight. So important that the lead isn't given up there. Miami fighting for some control of vision here, does get the grub, or the scuttle, excuse
the OP
me.
scuttle.
Scuttles are great, but not a cool dude. Just sweeping out some vision, and T-Bone trying to clear this wave here in the mid lane.
Yeah, looks like neither team is trying to hard commit to anything right now before this Drake spawn. And Miami trying their best to keep it dark, make sure that NIU doesn't really have a clue about their movements. We'll see. Beast Fridge might be in a tough spot, though.
X looking for something onto Beast Fridge, misses the flag and drag just barely. Beans was there to follow up, but Beast Fridge using the ghost, think that might have been what got them out of there, but nothing for the Red Hawks there. Solozak just clearing out the mid lane.
Egoist,
but Evan, and not a cool dude here on the top lane. Egoist, though, and Bess is just a broken champion, has so many dashes, and will get out of there. But I think that's going to be first turret for the side of the Huskies.
Yeah, first turret does actually matter. Again, it's 300 extra gold once you pick that up with the new changes in the season. But luckily, not a lot of those skill shots going to be landing, so they don't give a kill away as well. Galio posturing in this river here. And yeah, I mean, both teams just kind of waiting eagerly for this Drake to spawn. It looks like we might get another juicy team fight, I'm hoping. And we'll see if Miami's positioning is as on point as it was last time. I think Bean's doing a really great job, like you said, of playing bodyguard for her teammates. So we'll see. Egoist also still has the public execution.
Shockwave from Beast Fridge going to find out Beans, but Solozak is here to support. But there's 5 members of the Huskies here. X dropping down just to protect Beans a little bit. Dragon up in 17. No members of either team wants to die right here. And I think the NIU is just going to back up. But Miami's stuck in a bad place. X on a control word, getting to clear it. Shattering Strike landing. But Vision going down for the side of the Red Hawks.
Bean's not in the area, though. She has to get back to the fight. And it is going to be a tough road. Miami does not want to start anything while it's still a 4v5.
Yeah, losing track of where Egoist is right now, but Jana coming down from the top side. Egoist with support. We might see something break out here with the public execution onto the backline. Here comes the heroic entrance. That is 2 members knocked up for the NIU. That is just what you want to see for the Red Hawks. Evan trying to do his best to crescent strike everybody away. That is 2 kills for the side of the Red Hawks. Chasing down Swole Pingu now. There's not much that Darius can do. Getting taunted by WGFY, but on the top side of your screen, T-Bone getting chased down by the Red Hawks. Won't get killed. Had to flash away from that. But that is going to be a Cloud Soul for the Red Hawks. That is a huge boon for them in this game.
Yeah, Corky definitely going to be happy about this one. WGFU trying to stop the push of this mid-wave, making sure they're not taking advantage of those crystals. But yeah, that was a great fight from Miami. The great follow-up, great placement of the public execution and heroic entrance on top of it to layer that CC. And yeah, I mean, the Cataclysm from the Jarvan did kind of set up a little bit of a shockwave, but Orianna is in a position in this game with the Roa where she doesn't have the build to do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
So it did set up a multi-man shockwave for the side of Miami, but it wasn't the most consequential. And Beans, again, that full Hurricane channel, so much healing for her team. And yeah, overall, just a really well-coordinated team fight from Miami. That's exactly what we want to see. Very encouraging to see that they're getting more and more in the right state of mind and synced up with their movements as we progress through this season.
Yeah, this is a completely different Miami, what they look like compared to Monday. This team is just working so well together. You saw the layering of the CC with the public execution right into the heroic entrance. And that's kind of reflected in the gold as well. Miami's starting to run away with this game. 2.5k gold up. They have the soul. They are in firm control of this map and can kind of bully NIU around. I don't know if they have the pick potential that NIU has, but they can certainly win a team fight.
Yeah, it's just making sure to avoid those silly mistakes. But look at the speed that this guy gets after casting every little missile. He has so many of them. So Solozak definitely going to be appreciative. Movement speed is one of the most important stats to have on any champion. So we'll see more items going to be built across the board. We see Corky trying to build up some more crit. And let's see more. We have opportunity, lethality. Hold on.
Cataclysm onto T-Bone in the mid lane. He's just going to get annihilated. The heroic entrance was a little bit of overkill, but Miami, they really want this tower. I'm not sure if they'll take it right now. WGFY looking for a taunt, gets it onto Evan. Beans again, kind of frontline, caught out, gets knocked up by Evan, gets shockwave by the Orianna, flashes out. Egoist here, the flag and drag into the fight. Rel with the Magnet Storm, catching 3 members. excuse me, Beans trying to heal up the rest of the team, but Solozak just pumping out so much damage. Egoist on the other side of the screen, just letting Not a Cool Dude escape. You don't want to focus the tank in this fight. Solozak pumping out some more rockets, trying to do whatever he can to take this tower. Beastridge walking up, has so much damage. Solozak forced to flash and barrier away, gets the Valkyrie away and lives, and that is 2 more for the Redhawks.
Solozak using himself as the carrot on the proverbial on the fishing rod to try and bait NIU masterfully into the fight there. It's a little questionable why they went in the first place. They were down a member, no shockwave available. Great engage again from the Rel, but no shockwave to follow up on it, and that is just surely Baron and maybe even the game for Miami, just making it easy. That fight, I think Miami was even a little caught off guard from that engage. I think they weren't expecting them to fight in that position, especially after Shockwave had been used. I think Egoist was not really sure how to go about that because, I mean, that was just a strange place to fight if I was NIU.
Yeah, Miami right after that fight, doubling their gold lead, getting the Baron, and shout out Beans. Yeah. Beans has had some crazy channels of that ultimate to heal up the team, a clutch shield onto Solozak on the back end of that fight to keep him alive, and I think Beans is playing out of her mind today.
Yeah, I know we talked about we do player of the games now. That's a new thing that we've instituted this season, and I think Beans just has locked up this vote so easily for me. Just the ability to keep her team, her carries alive, using a really great use of that Hurricane pretty much in every team fight. Just getting the full value of all that healing redemption now built, and LDR as well on the Corki going to allow him to chew through the front line, and the Darius pick really not panning out, just not finding the identity. That's another champion where if you fall behind, it's so hard to find a home in these team fights to really actually build up the hemorrhage stacks and engage and do your Noxian guillotine. Because I mean, if you burst down so quickly, you can't really have that same bruiser threat.
Yeah, I'm really liking the build that I'm seeing from Egoist too. Going a more lethality route, we'll just be able to pop Beastridge or T-Bone if they can find the public execution onto them. But Evan going to get caught out here. X going to find the flag and drag onto it. The heroic entrance coming through. The Crescent Strike won't be able to knock anybody away. Evan is going to go down here. Do they want more? The Redhawks, the public execution just barely missing. But Miami has that boon of the Cloud Drake. Elder up in 130. Do they want to chase for more? It doesn't look like it. They're just going to turn their sights here onto this bot side tier 2.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute, guys, we have Baron. So we should look towards this bot side, get as much as we can before this Elder. And yeah, they're just going to line their pockets with a little bit more gold, make sure they have proper vision set up. I wouldn't get too caught up in this. But yeah, I think Miami, another great snap engage. They're looking in the jungle, going to find the jungler, make sure he's not going to be able to be around as this Elder starts to spawn. Still got 50 seconds on that one, but great control. Couldn't ask for a better setup for Miami.
Yeah, Miami really accelerating the pace of play now. After that mid lane fight, that's what kind of broke this game open. They were kind of even with gold. They had a little bit of a lead, 2.5k going into that fight. But in the last couple of minutes, they've almost extended that by 8k. They're at a 9k gold lead, looking to make it 10. But Miami in the driver's seat. The players of Miami so rich. Egoist 3.1k up against that Darius. Solozak 2.5k up against T-Bone. And they're looking for more here in the mid lane. Solozak going to get caught out on that ward.
Yeah, Jarvan trying to look for a cheeky angle is going to be spotted by that whoosh board. Excuse me, the ward in the bush.
Egoist on the bottom of your screen, possibly looking for a public execution angle. They are going to pop down the control ward just so Egoist can't be seen. Egoist knows that no member of NIU knows he's there. Looks like the other members are just trying to bait a little bit, waiting for Not a Cool Dude, I think, to engage, but they're just going to hide in this bush for now. Not a Cool Dude trying to get some vision. X going in between, but Egoist playing this really patiently.
Yeah, it's good that they're playing this with a lot of wherewithal, because they're going to have to path through that area eventually, and he's going to be there waiting with the public execution. So we'll see. It looks like they're just trying to get this midway shoved in, but they're going to have to meet them at Elder, and Egoist knows that.
The public execution onto T-Bone. That is just what you want to see if you're a Red Hawk fan. Here comes the heroic entrance, knocking up the Rel and the Darius, but they haven't taken down T-Bone yet. Egoist taking down T-Bone on the backside, trying to get out as he can, but Swole Pingu on the back line. Meanwhile, X is in the fray with the Xinjiao and the Oriana, but Solozak is just doing so much damage. Miami getting the Elder Dragon in the meantime. They are going to execute all the members of Miami University, or excuse me, NIU. They're chasing down Beastridge. WGFY wants more. Solozak, aggressive Valkyrie in. I think Beastridge just has enough of that slowing ability to get out of there, but that is a huge fight for the Redhawks, and I think that might be the game.
Yeah, I mean, that is the straw that broke the camel's back. Egoist, such a masterful engage onto the Vars, finding him even with the spell shield, was able to dodge a lot of the initial damage from that public execution, but the burst was so strong. Having a little bit of trouble finding the kill, but the heroic entrance on the top. And then again, being just saving that. It looked like Egoist was going to fall. It looked like other members were going to perish, but then being just with the redemption, with the Hurricane, so much healing, so much shielding for her team to be able to save a lot of the members that were going incredibly low. And then in the back, picking up that Elder on the back end and then finishing up the fight, cleaning them up. And now it's just a matter of time, it feels like, before Miami is marching into NIU's base and cracking open that Nexus.
You know it's crazy when one support has a 1.4k gold lead up on the other. Beans has a kill participation of 20 out of 21, the one kill being the Egoist and X kill that they got on Swole Pingu for First Blood. That's the only thing that Beans hasn't been a part of. She has been so proactive in this game, making things happen for the Redhawks. But here we go in the jungle. Egoist going to find the execute. Shockwave going to pull Egoist back in, but here comes WGFY with a heroic entrance, and they are going to shred through. Egoist with the double once more. Here comes X. He has the flag and the drag onto Beastridge. Beans picking up a kill. X as well. T-Bone going to get the spell shield off, but is going to die. That is an ace for the side of Redhawks, and they are going to end this game. 32 minutes, 26 kills. The Redhawks are here.
Yes, hopping up 1-0. Statement win on this series, trying to start it up with plenty of momentum. And I mean, to not a cool dude's credit, obviously we've put a ton of praise on Beans, rightfully so. Not a cool dude, had a lot of great engages. I think part of why they kind of struggled in a lot of these more team fights, obviously the Darius, we touched on this, but I think the Oriana, the build, just I like Roa. It just doesn't feel like you have the same impact with those shockwaves. And whenever there was an amazing angle or a great engage from the side of NIU, not a cool dude getting these massive the rail ultimates, sucking all of Miami members into this confined space. It didn't really matter because the shockwave almost barely did anything. And granted, that was the case before Miami had accumulated any kind of huge significant gold lead. So it did kind of hamper the abilities. You mentioned the Oriana was going to be pivotal in a lot of these team fights, and it really just didn't feel like it had the same snap that it normally does.
Yeah, what I'm finding out, what I'm learning from this game is that Janna is broken when played into Oriana and Rel. That was just such a clutch pick. We got word from our producers that Janna was the last pick of the draft as well. They were holding that one in Miami's back pocket.
Wow.
And man, it paid dividends, and we saw it.
Yeah, what a time to debut that pick, because I had no idea that we had that in the arsenal, and now I am sold. Janna stocks are up.
Janna stocks are up.
Yeah, so definitely going to keep that one in mind for future series. Was able to utilize it to great effectiveness. So we'll see if Miami decides to pivot or keep with that more supportive play style. Obviously, some powerful champions now off the board. Galio, we obviously like that one a lot more. The Ambessa, another one that was piloted to amazing effectiveness. Kind of struggled early on, but I mean, I don't know anyone who can just
play into a Darius like that.
It's just so brutal. So it gets to a point later where it's easy to navigate, and he pays the price for picking such a lane dominant champ in those team fights. I think he finished the game like 0-6, 0-7 or something like that. I don't know if he was ever able to pick a kill. So yeah, I mean, overall, just really well played. Miami taking it slow, not making any too gradual mistakes. I think we had like 1 or 2 picks maybe, but never before an objective. And it just looked like night and day from the team that we saw on Monday.
Yeah, to that point, I mean, X played that early game really well, getting a lot of flashes burned throughout the map, opening up plays. We saw some reganks on the bot side that get Solozak and Beans ahead. And then when Solozak was ahead, was able to carry that through. WGFY supporting, Egoist holding his own. It was a great team play, from the Redhawks. We saw a couple of overextensions, like you mentioned, and that's where kind of some of the kills that NIU had. But once the team fightings, once those started coming out, man, Miami, Beans, they just started steamrolling.
Yeah, we just got a great picture of them being cohesive after laning phases ended, cleaning up their mistakes, and I'm really encouraged by what I saw. So hopefully we'll see more in the next game. We're going to go to a quick break and stay here, stay tuned, and we're going to have more exciting league for you soon.
And here we are back in draft for game 2 between NIU and Miami University. Of course, we have the fearless style, so you can see on top of both of our heads the champions that both teams played from last game that will be banned for the rest of the series. Starting off strong, Talia, Mordekaiser, and Wukong being the bans.
Yeah, once again, Wukong going to be taken off the board. Really strong team fight engage. I can see why they don't want to have to face that. Gwen, I feel like we established already going to be a perma ban. That Dusk and Dawn item is not okay. Talia, an interesting one, maybe suggested that NIU might be looking for some dashy comps. Could be. Was that one that we saw ban last game? I can't remember.
We did see on Monday. Yeah, they did ban Talia all 3 games, I believe.
Might see. Yeah, it seems like that is a respected pick out of our mid laner. Vi also going to be a target. Maybe that suggests that they might be looking to rotate some of those, like a hyper carry ADC in these team fights.
And Jinx being taken out by NIU. So like you were just mentioning, the Vi ban kind of signals a hyper carry, but NIU taking off the Jinx, which we did see Solozak play on Monday. But Egoist here, going to be the first one to lock in a champion. I'm expecting
Kaisa.
I'm expecting an Aatrox maybe for Egoist here.
Oh, okay.
Cassante.
We got and a Camille. Okay, Snooze Fest in the top lane, and it's Sejuani. Oh God.
Oh my gosh. And are you going to put me to sleep in this game? Yunara being locked in for Solozak with the Silas.
do like seeing that though. Some Demacian justice there. That could spice things up a little bit.
I really like the Silas here actually. After
Yeah.
seeing the Camille ultimate and the Sejuani ultimate,
Plenty of good value there. Lots of lockdown for the Silas to utilize, and we do see him going to be going toe to toe with the Yone. That is always a fun matchup. Lots of dashes every which way. The Cassante, just a stable lane pick, going to be good. Still kind of annoying to play against. He just gets so tanky so easily and has so much mobility when he goes all out. That W is now a key core part of his kit after all these changes. That's where a lot of his damage lies. So landing that is going to be imperative. MF, another pick that we saw last week.
And there's the Viego, something that we love to see X play in the jungle. And Beans got her Leona.
Ooh, that is something we don't see open very often. Beans loves this champion. And we do see some disengage locked in with the Alistar, just in case, is something that is not going to be too bad. It pairs up very well with the Misfortune. We did see Not a Cool Dude look very polished on a lot of these engage champions, like the Rel. Looked very good with these snap engages, but unfortunately the team was not able to follow up. But I feel like the Fate Sealed is a little bit more clear on how that is supposed to go about, and not building Roa on Yone is probably advisable. So
yeah, we did get word from production that the first pick for Miami University was that Yunara. So I think Solazek's feeling really confident and really comfortable coming off of that Corki game in game 1 where he just really got ahead and was able to carry that lead. And Swole Pingu's Camille was the last pick of the draft. Kind of an oddity knowing that the Silas is there and will have access to that ultimate.
It's a good lane matchup though.
It is a good lane matchup, yeah.
And it just pairs well with the Sejuani. You got that triple melee there towards the top side with the Yone as well. And yeah, I think that Miami's bans were very ADC centric. It looks like, taking out the Malphite is always going to be a blessing for those hyper carries that just really need to hit in these team fights. And another kind of justifies the Vi ban as well. We kind of sniffed that one out. And then Olaf, the champion we thought was in the Lotto today, was in fact our downfall. Also going to be taken off the board, as well as the Akali. I think the Akali getting banned may be a blessing in disguise, at least in this point, from what we saw on Monday. But no, I definitely think a good draft from both teams. Very clear team fight comp from the side of NIU. And I really like a lot of the champions on the side of Miami. I'm curious to see. It's not as straightforward on their side in terms of what they're but really, the name of the game will kind of revolve around this Yunara.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Miami University of two, the Cassante and the Leona. I'm looking at NIU. I'm seeing a Camille. I'm seeing an MF. That's a lot of AD that we're getting in this game. Yone has a little bit of mixed damage, but does have some AD scaling as well. But that's going to be a lot of – that's going to let those two members of Miami just build armor and not really have to worry about much else on the Rift.
That's a good point. And I think another thing is I'm curious, we're going to ask production here, if the Silas was picked in response to the Alistar, because Silas having Alistar ult access to that is probably one of, if not his best ults, besides like a Malphite. It really just is so powerful for him to get that damage reduction in these team fights. That's always going to be a priority when you're scuffling in Alistar.
Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing too. Like the more that I look at that, this Viego allows for some resets as well. Can CC with the Camille, can CC with the Alistar. I think the Viego pick can have a lot of value here.
Yeah, so really well played. I think that this is going to be a very entertaining match. I think there's some very much cinema champions on both sides of the Rift. Definitely more of a stock standard draft from the side of NIU, but I think this will be electric regardless. So yeah, we're looking forward to this. We're going to take a short break. Stick around, and the game will be here very soon.
And here we are back on the Rift for Game 2 between the Miami University Redhawks and the Northern Illinois Huskies.
Yes, looking very fun here. I like the Sejuani skin, Project Sejuani, a favorite of mine from the TFT days. We got that lethal tempo on Yo, no shocker there. More electrocutes being taken. What Yone skin is that? High Noon.
Pretty standard things in terms of runes across the board. WGFY opting for Electrocute instead of the Conqueror, going for a more bursty build here because can get that durability from the Alistar later in the game if needed. But things are looking pretty standard. Junglers starting on opposite sides of the map, so we'll see if that has any impact. But we see on the top lane already, Egoist getting chunked out a little bit by Swolpingu.
Yeah, Camille definitely more of a lane-centric pick into this Cassante. That Q is going to hurt throughout all phases of the game. Eventually just becomes kind of like a Cho'Gath ult.
Egoist getting real low on the top lane. I wonder what's happening up there. Swolpingu does have Ignite, no flash. So Ignite and TP for Swolpingu on the top. But Egoist already getting set behind here a little bit. First, second level already accomplished by NIU. Trying to do what they can against Miami University, but nothing's gonna come from that. Not a cool dude using the exhaust onto solo Zach, but Miami using no summoners and just getting out of that.
Yeah, gonna use these health pots to try and get some of that health back. Not a great trade, but not having to use any sums is definitely going to be a benefit.
Solar Blade by Beans just going to go in. Solozak popping the Ghost, trying to auto as much as he can into T-Bone. T-Bone forced to pop the barrier. Not a cool dude doing what he can in response, but Solozak, getting a W on the end, getting a really nice trade for the side of the Redhawks.
Yeah, Viego pathing bot as well, maybe seeing some capitalize on that great sequence of events there from Miami. Sejuani still clearing her red, and yeah, not much has happened. Solo's Egoist looking like he was able to stabilize a little bit in his lane. Sums up for both laners up there, so not having to use the Ignite yet. But we'll see. Definitely taking a little bit of a CS lead is this Camille. No surprise there. I think Cassante will struggle. Pretty much throughout all stages, Camille scales quite well, but he will get quite tanky.
Yeah, Egoist forced to back already because of that chunking. However, does have some lane sustain with the grasp of the Undying, but that is going to be the top side scuttle for Evan and NIU. But Evan is here looking for something onto Egoist. A great sidestep, dodging the hook shot, knocks Evan into tower range, and that's going to dissuade NIU from doing anything further. A great play from Egoist, getting Evan under tower like that.
Yeah, that was nasty. Using the Q2 or the Q3, to get him during the charge, and the hook shot going wide, definitely going to be a huge plus for Egoist. Going to be able to dodge a lot of that action, and Sejuani going to take it back off the end of that. And now it looks like Beans is making a play, maybe looking more for vision. It looks like Silas is pretty pushed up there in the mid lane. So not much going to come off of that. Just going to get some deep wards maybe in the enemy jungle. And yeah, overall, great laning phase by most of Miami here. Looks like more trades in the mid lane.
Floating to the mid lane, Beastridge trying to do whatever he can to put some damage into WGFY, but level 5 Yone with no items really doesn't do much. Solozak here eyeing up this wave, gets the cannon, and he's just going to try to farm this down the best of his ability. But Egoist really recovering strong. Can't really CS in this lane just due to the nature of the matchup. But I mean, a great play, and I think if he plays defensively like that, if he just stays alive, things are going to go well for him.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, I mean, we saw Beans trying to look for a play there mid, but we saw plenty of missing pings coming down, letting the mid laner of NIU know that something was amiss. So yeah, not going to push the envelope too far on that one. Ego is going to miss that minion there. Going to use his Q3, or nope, he isn't going to, just going to try and freeze this wave. Going to be taking some more damage. Camille having that adaptive shield to mitigate a lot of that damage. And yeah, Egoist, kind of the name of the game, is just going to scale, get tanky, and be annoying.
WGFY kind of building a little bit of a wave here, has so many casters. Same here in the bot side. I think they're going to try to build up these big waves, try to get them to crash to leave X with the dragon so they can take that. I believe that is a Cloud or a Chemtech dragon. I think it's Chemtech.
Chemtech, yeah.
Not the best dragon for the beginning of the game, but
Well,
it's always nice to have dragons.
Yeah, well, it also means that you won't see it as a soul. So Chemtech Soul, not my favorite. It's pretty good, but I definitely prefer some of the more flashy ones.
Evan in the top lane looking for something. Egoist does use the ultimate. Isn't going to find anything. Swolpengu going to use theirs in return. Egoist, I think, is just stuck, and the kill is going to be donated for Swolpengu. That is the first blood for the Huskies.
Yeah, some inopportune timing to go all out there right when the Sejuani was getting ready to gank, and that couldn't have been worked out better for the side of NYU. And we see a huge gold lead being accrued towards the top side. Egoist being down so many CS in this lane. Not a huge surprise since it is a difficult matchup, but really you want to kind of play it slow and going to be kind of put in a very difficult position. We see Sejuani moving towards the mid lane.
Beans missing the Zenith Blade is going to try to just... That just blows the whole operation that was being set up there by X and the bot side. But the side of NIU, they're just going to back up. Meanwhile, we do see Evan kind of hovering around this mid lane, possibly looking for somebody on WGFY. We did see the ultimate from Beast Fridge come on out. WGFY forced to flash. Crucial that Evan doesn't get the Glacial Frost on to WGFY. Gets to walk out of that one A-okay.
Yeah, Beast Fridge trying to trade aggressive. Looks like he did use the Fate Sealed. Going to try and lock up Beast Fridge. I don't know if he hit it. It didn't look like it, but I couldn't see off of the Spectator. And now back going to be channeled there from both the mid laner and the jungler of NYU. And Ego is trying to recover, lick his wounds in the top side. That's still down almost 800 gold, or more than 800 gold to this Camille. And it's just going to get harder and harder, missing the cannon there.
Yeah, this top lane looking a little bit dicey. Ego's just taking so much damage just trying to farm. X is here if they do want to fight the Swolpengu, looking for more. Ego is going unstoppable, but Swolpengu, seeing the shadows from X, will just back off. Meanwhile,
solo kill
in the mid lane for Beast Fridge, getting a kill onto WGFY, probably just hanging out there a little bit too long after that last fight, knowing Beast Fridge, knowing that WGFY doesn't have flash. A little bit unfortunate start for the side of the Redhawks. Ego is doing whatever he can, getting some procs from the aggressively dying, healing up just a little bit, but still down so much gold and so much CS.
Yeah, Camille has so much sustain in these lanes, so much ability and agency to trade freely with that adaptive shield, not really taking a ton of damage on these extended trades. So it really is just going to be so dicey for Egoist, especially with the Ignite still available, or will be available soon, again, for another all-in potentially from Swolpengu. It's just going to get so hard to play, but Grub's going to be taken here. Good early rotation that's going to help them maybe try and recover some of this gold deficit from these platings. But Miami in a little bit of a dicey spot. The mid lane also getting taken down. So really going to be about putting this Yunara in a position to succeed in a lot of these fights.
Yeah, it's not always about, those early game leads, because it's so easy for people to throw those away. Not necessarily at this level of play, but it's still a possibility that can happen. I think it comes down to more of how they play the map and how they team fight. But Swolpengu looking for something onto Egoist. But to that point, Miami is playing this map great, already getting the first two objectives of the game, that Chemtech Drake and the Grubs. We have the next Drake, a Cloud Drake, in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So I'm wondering if they'll try to play around that. But Beans spotting Evan, trying to take the Krugs away.
Does not get him.
Yeah, does not get him. So that's a little bit of wasted time for Evan, and now they know where Evan is. But X, looking in the river, I think will spot out Evan here as well.
Solozak kind of get chunked off of something that happened. So it looks like he can't posture as aggressively. MF going to be able to push this wave in.
Egoist getting a little bit aggressive here on the top side, but I think this game is going to come down to how Solozak plays in these team fights. You need good engages from Beans. Hookshot going in. Egoist doing whatever he can, but that is such a big shield from Swolpengu that is going to negate so much damage. Egoist going to go back to the minions, building up stacks on the Q. Won't find the Q3. But I think it's going to come down to how Solozak plays these. Another hook shot going in. Egoist going unstoppable. Doesn't get the Q on to the Camille. And here we are in the mid lane.
Egoist has to be careful. He can take these aggressive trades, but eventually he's going to get to the range where Camille can just comfortably look for an all-in when her passive is up with the Ignite. Running a little bit low on mana is both team members. The Sweeping Crescent, I believe that's the name of her W. It gives her so much sustain, allows her to recover a portion of the damage done. and she just is similar to kind of a Fiora in that sense, where she's just so good into a lot of these really tanky members.
On the bot side, a little bit of a skirmish happening. Solozak popping the ultimate, same with the Alistar, but both teams are just going to back off. Flashes used from the Misfortune, exhaust from Alistar as well. But the side of the Redhawks, both flashes up and heal still there as well.
Yeah, it's been a little uneventful towards the bot side compared to the other lanes, which is a pretty good thing. You want your Yunara to be able to scale up pretty comfortably. But meanwhile, NIU just dry off the map has accumulated a 2.3k gold lead. And like you said, we shouldn't read too much into these. Maybe play here from Silas, stealing that Alistar ult away, trying to get this second drag. We saw Miami prioritizing drag stacking a lot last game, which definitely benefited them towards the later stages.
Beastridge coming down from the top. WGFY and X are in a really bad position. 4 members of the Huskies are here. Both of them do have flash, or WGFY almost has flash, but Alistar is going to go over the wall to try to get X. Meanwhile, Beans is fighting here in the center, but a huge bullet time onto 3 members of Miami University. Beastridge getting really low, will go down. That is a kill for Solozak, but they do get the jungler for Miami in return. Solozak getting aggroed by the dragon, but doing as much damage as he can. That is a double kill for the Yunara, and that might be the dragon for the Redhawks as well.
Yeah, so Miami's jungler giving his life in order for Solozak to be able to get a lot of damage down in the meantime, and that is 2 kills on your Yunara and the dragon being taken for Miami. Huge news for them, because that looked like an amazing Fate Sealed and a great angle from the mid laner of NIU, but it wasn't enough.
Trying to make something happen here on the top side, but Cassante is just so tanky. I was a little bit confused in that last fight too. They do take the dragon, but I did see Not a Cool Dude flash over the back wall of the dragon pit to chase down the Viego. I don't know if the play was to hit Viego back into the pit, but it just kind of seemed like a wasted flash to me.
Yeah, you know why? I was so absorbed in the team, but I didn't see that. Was he separating himself from the rest of his team?
Yeah, in the backside of the pit, I think X was trying to get out, and
Beans, though.
Not a Cool Dude flash followed. Beans getting caught out. The recall canceled. Forced to flash away. Might be taken down here. Gets knocked back by T-Bone and Not a Cool Dude. And Beans is going to go down there. So unfortunate that the recall was caught out, but that's 1 for the Huskies.
Yeah, a bit of an overstay there by Beans. Looks like it's just kind of an inopportune place to have that recall. Solozak going to try and pick up this wave. Hopefully not in an angle. It doesn't look like they can go for a dive super comfortably here. So Solozak will just be able to farm up these minions. Sitting on 2 kills, got the Uintel Wild Arrows built up, as well as the Roa on the Silas. I'm not a big fan of the Roa item, but it's good on him. I just feel like you lose so much damage whenever you build it, but it is a good choice. But yeah, Scuttle Crab going to be the target now for Miami. They are going to stun this one up. And Alistar roaming back towards the bot side did have a little look-see towards the top side.
Egoist getting a little bit aggressive, goes unstoppable onto Swole Pengu. Will he use the all out? Not yet. I'm not sure if Egoist has vision of Evan in there. They do have a control word, but X is here as well. Egoist going all out onto Evan, trying to do as much damage as possible on the bot side. Solozak getting a kill onto Misfortune. T-Bone is down. 1 kill for the Redhawks. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we have action everywhere. WGFY will find the chains onto Beastridge. Beastridge is in a really bad position. Has to use the Fate Seal to get out, but a Zenith Blade finds Not a Cool Dude on the back end. Will WGFY chase and re-enter the fight? Will not. That is 1 for the Redhawks, but fights breaking all over the Rift.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Solozak getting a kill on the MF, just an isolation one-on-one there. Really great, just to establish even more dominance, get even push that envelope even further in the bot lane. But yeah, a lot of trading going on there. Pretty aggressive from both mid laners. Fate Sealed gonna miss. Another hook shot going wide there. Ego is playing this lane really well. You know, maybe falling ahead in the gold department. But really, the only solo kill, or the kill that happened, was kind of an inopportune all-in with his all-out. And yeah, I mean, Ego is using his abilities really well to either dodge these hook shots or go unstoppable. And yeah, I think he's shown that he's very competent with this champion so far in this laning phase for me. And the Yunara, obviously, is your insurance.
Yeah, I think Yunara, Solozak playing this champion 3-0 already. I think this is the game plan that Miami wants to play. I think NIU really wants to decelerate her in the bot lane. We do see that Evan is roaming around, heading towards that mid lane. Does not have the ultimate up.
Oh, but potential dive angle here. I think Solozak senses that, going to back off from the turret, not get too greedy. We'll see. It looks like they're going for the Herald, and he is going to be invaded as a result. I believe NIU knows that he is not going to be contesting anything down on the side of the map, but that does mean that Solozak is losing a lot of these minions to the tower, not able to farm. Beans now in the area to play Protector. We'll see if that means that they can gain some ground back. Tower is going to be taken in the meantime. So that is the first tower taken down.
Yeah, that's Rift Herald traded for the first tower of the game. Miami hoping that they can use that Rift Herald, to get more than one tower, I would assume. Trying to find an opportune time to use that. Egoist, though, clawing his way back in this game, has the Iceborne Gauntlet, which will help that 1v1 all that much more. Solozak, Yuntal arrows already finished with the BF sword in the back pocket. T-Bone does have the Yomu's Ghostblade, going for a little bit of lethality. I don't know if that's what you want to do going into a Cassante and a Leona. Meanwhile, on the top side, Swolpingu and Egoist just going at it. Hook shot won't land. Lands the Unstoppable. He is going all out. Egoist doing so much damage, slowing Swolpingu with all those procs of the Iceborne Gauntlet. But the Hextech Ultimatum comes out in return. Egoist can't land the Q3. Swolpingu gets a huge shield and will drop the Ignite, and Egoist will just back out.
Egoist now at this point in the game able to go toe-to-toe with the LeBlanc. Great use of both abilities, using the Hextech Ultimatum to dodge the abilities from the Cassante. Really well played from both sides there. And it's just really entertaining Cinema's top scuffles.
Yeah, this top lane looks like to be evening out a little bit. I mean, Egoist is down almost 1,000 gold, but can still go toe-to-toe with Swolpingu. But the Huskies are posturing towards this Drake, will aggro it. But there's 4 members of the Redhawks with 4 members of NIU. Egoist and Swolpingu both do have their teleports, but there goes Beastfridge trying to find something, does not. Alistar going to pop the ultimate. Silas Dove has the Alistar ultimate on himself. Will dive right into the middle of the fight, but is so much more tanky because of that. A huge bullet time will go over the top. Solozak trying to pump as much damage in return. Beans using the Solar Flare onto T-Bone, trying to mitigate that damage, but they are caught. The Huskies are surrounding the Redhawks, and they're just picking them off one by one. That is a triple kill for Beastridge on the Yone. Hookshot from Swolpingu will land onto Egoist, and he is just going to be CC chained in ace for the Huskies.
Yeah, I mean, immediately the issue was clear to me. The engage from Silas way too early. Cassante not even finished channeling the teleport, had just backed, and it just was kind of not a great angle, and that's going to result in a huge swing of gold. 4.7k now up is NIU. And that is not what you want to see out of Miami, kind of losing some of that coordination we were talking about early. That didn't look like a bad fight for them. Obviously, they want to contest, get up to Soul Point, but just pulling the trigger far too early on the Silas, and Miami not able to follow up. Solozak doing his best to try and find angles in that fight to hit, but it wasn't enough without more of the beefy frontline to keep people off of him.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a miscomm there. We did see the Solar Flare from Beans come in a little bit too late, only finding T-Bone. I would have loved to see that a little bit earlier, maybe as an engage or a follow-up engage with the Silas. But that's just a little bit of the miscommunication that we've seen from them so far. Game 1 looked really special, kind of falling apart here in Game 2, but the Redhawks aren't out yet.
No, still definitely have avenues to come back in this game, and the gold lead is a little daunting. A lot of that went onto the Yone as well as the Camille. So 2 definitely pretty scary carries to have accelerated in this game. But by no means is that game deciding. And that just means that their drag stacking will be a little bit more delayed. So we will see how they choose to respond in turn. Maybe Miami can find a cheeky angle of their own outside of the more traditional team fight windows. Try and find some picks. They do have those 3 grubs, so that means that if they do find any kind of action on the map and get an angle to be able to push more effectively, that means that they are going to be getting so much from these tower platings.
Yeah, Baron up in 30 seconds. I'd assume both teams want to grab that if possible. The Redhawks still holding on to that Rift Herald. Not sure how much longer that will be in the item slot for, but they do want to use that before it runs out. Lane quest being completed by all members. Teleports are here, but they do find an engage onto X, forced to use the Heartbreaker to get out of there, but gets caught. That is going to be X caught out by the Huskies, and a kill for the Huskies, and they're going to turn their sights onto the Baron.
Yeah, getting caught right as Baron spawns is not what you want, but it doesn't look like they're going to opt for it just yet, seeming a little non-committal. Hold on, but more action here on the Silas. He's going to dash out, going to be stunned up there, but the bullet time going to come through and take him down, and maybe looking for more, but is going to snap back on that Soul Unbound, and maybe that's enough for them to justify pulling the trigger on this Baron.
Yeah, WGFY getting caught out there, not what you want to see. The bullet time used as well to secure that kill, and that's just going to give the Huskies the agency to look towards that Baron.
Yeah, I haven't been too impressed. I feel like the Silas has maybe not been exactly what you want from this game, and he's had a little bit of difficulty finding his place in his team fights, the laning phase. So my NIU going to happily take the Herald, going to try and back off here, and they will do just that. And now we're going to see how they can utilize this Baron in order to cement their lead in this game, up now 6K gold.
Yes, it is a game of defense for the Redhawks. Down 7 kills, down 6K gold. They are doing whatever they can to scrap back into this fight. 2K gold lead for the jungle, 1.5K for the side of Swole Pengu, and 1.6 for the side of Beastridge. And even though that T-Bone is 2-2-2, or 2-2-6, excuse me, and Solozak has 2 kills, T-Bone's only 36 gold down.
Yeah, T-Bone really making their presence known with these bullet times is, and that's kind of really what you're supposed to do on Misfortune. I think that is like the entire identity in these team fights. And yeah, Miami not really having too much in these team fights in order to look to. Obviously, you have that Yunara, but it's going to be so hard to peel with how accelerated so many of these members are.
Beans finding a Solar Flare onto 2 members of the side of Northern Illinois. Solozak popping the ultimate, trying to auto as much as he can, but Beastridge with the teleport will come in. Egoist is here to support. It is a 5 versus 5 here in the mid lane. Bullet time used over the top, doesn't find anybody, but Swole Pengu with the Hextech ultimatum does find one. Evan on the back end will be able to take down Beans Leona, but not a cool dude. Getting low, but it's close, but no cigar.
Yeah, Solozak trying to find an opportunity to hit there in the back of that fight, but isn't going to be able to deal enough damage in return. And that is the jungler once again, and as well as Beans going down. Egoist in a precarious spot here.
Egoist trying to find something onto Beastridge, but the stack of ultimates won't. That'll be enough to seal their fate. It was 2, now 4 for the Huskies.
Yeah, I mean, and we see 2 Yone ults be used in turn, and one is a lot more effective than the other. Fortunately, mid laner of Miami struggling a little bit with some of these stolen ultimates. T-Bone now going to happily collect that crystallized growth there on the turret, taking it down, and now you have to imagine they're pathing over towards the bottom jungle. I believe Drake, yeah, on the Drake spawn, they're going to grab that one. That'll be 2 Mountain Drakes, so stacking up some of those resistance is going to be great for the Sejuani. Mortar Reminder, also built on this Yone, going to be good to have the Grievous application into some of the team members, especially that Silas, making sure that he can't sustain himself in these fights. That was actually, yeah, built pretty early on. You have to imagine the IE is going to follow. And yeah, Camille getting more and more items, 505 now on that top lane. And these champions, once you start to snowball, it's kind of hard to stop it.
Yeah, Miami playing off the back foot, 7.5K gold down. There is a 5-0 Camille on the Rift, which is not what you want to see, especially with how much true damage that Camille can do if they get a hook shot and a Hextech ultimatum onto the Yunara. That just spells disaster for the Redhawks.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's really their only saving grace is 0-4 Viego, a 0-4 Silas. Where else is the damage on this team? I mean, if that's you kind of stab it in the heart, and then this comp just kind of falls flat on its face. So Yunara definitely going to be public enemy number 1 for NIU. Going to definitely prioritize taking her down. And Miami, I mean, they can do their best, but a lot of their map doesn't really belong to them anymore. And one misstep, one misplay could spell disaster. I mean, at this point in the game, it's still relatively early, so it's going to be hard. No grubs for the side of NIU, so it's going to be a little bit harder to push down a lot of these towers. But if Baron comes back, obviously the Mountain Drake going to be here as well.
Swole Pengu trying to find something onto WGFY. Has the backup from Evan, but WGFY is all alone. Tries to dash out, but Evan is going to be able to stun WGFY up, trying to fight back as much as he can, but that is another kill for the now 6-0 Camille.
Yeah, getting caught on side lanes like that is going to be pretty disastrous. Luckily, no objectives up right now for them to capitalize, but losing a member is going to feel bad no matter the circumstances. a battle over vision. Beans trying to find agency on this map, but it's so hard for them to walk. At this point, you just kind of feel like you got to hit minions, but I don't know how much you can do. Evan lurking in the jungle, looking for an angle. Solo Zach now making his way back onto the map.
It is just so hard for Miami to do anything in here, but Beans going to get caught out by Not a Cool Dude. We see the bullet time going over the top, getting stopped by Solo Zach and X. Evan forced to retreat, but as I was just saying, it's so hard for the side of Miami to walk anywhere with how much vision control NIU has, and there's just so many ways to get caught out. You have the really big Camille at 6-0. You have the ult from the Sejuani that can isolate anybody, and you have the Yone ultimate, the Fate Sealed. Man, this is just a bad place to be in for the Redhawks. Egoist skirmishing with Beast Ridge here in the top lane. But we did see that Swole Pengu on the Camille was able to take the bot side tier 2, extending that gold lead a little bit more.
Yeah, and you know, that whole scruffle was really just a misdirection, smoke and mirrors for the Camille to grab another inner tower. More and more gold being stacked up on this incredibly well-scaling champion. So it's just going to make it so much harder. And really, it's just going to crescendo into, I imagine, one kind of final attempt or team fight from Miami, and that might be the nail in the coffin. If the Baron is up, if they're able to get another Drake, I mean, they still won off Soul, so that still is sort of on the horizon. But I imagine the Baron is going to be the catalyst for NIU if they want to try and end this game as quickly as possible. But it is kind of feels like a little bit drawn out now at this point, and it's going to be interesting to see if Miami can find an angle to swing this back in their favor, at least in some extent.
Third item coming in for Yunara. Randuin's Omen for Egoist, trying to slow down the members of NIU just a little bit. But here we see Miami just clearing some vision around the Baron pit. Baron is up, and I'm sure that the next fight will determine whoever gets to grab this great buff in the game. Dragon up in around 50 seconds, and I'm sure that NIU would also love that one. And the Redhawks will have to play to contest that.
Yeah, they obviously can't get too greedy here. They have to, play their cards pretty close to their chest. One misstep could spell the end with or without that Baron. I think NIU is in a position to do some serious damage. And yeah, just cycling now, getting back on the map. Sejuani having that unending despair, going to be so difficult to take down for Miami's members. And Solozak just trying to do his best to find an angle in one of these team fights to maybe do some real damage, but it is so hard. Just such a gold lead that has been accrued on the side of NYU, reminiscent of last game, kind of towards the end.
Beans in the jungle will be caught out by 3 members of NIU. However, Beans is so tanky, trying to do whatever she can to just walk out of that. Does drop the Solar Flare and flash out. 2 crucial cooldowns for the Leona, both wasted as NIU turn their sights towards the Baron. Swole Pingu already up there, doesn't have to use the TP, to get up there, but that is all 5 members here. There's a fight breaking out. Bullet time going over the top. That is going to be 1 kill, 2 kills for NIU, but X has stolen the Baron. 3 kills for the MF. X trying to do whatever he can to get out. There are only 2 members remaining for the side of Miami with the Baron buff, Beans and X. X trying to keep this buff alive for now. Swole Pingu on the hunt. Really big Camille here, doesn't find it, and X gets out. That is 2 Barons remaining for the Redhawks, but a fight win overall for the Huskies.
You have to imagine Viego turns to his team after that and said, they're like, you got the Baron, what did it cost? Well, I mean, might be everything at this point. That is 4 members of Miami going to be taken down in that fight. You see that Yone TP top, kind of sensing that they were going to try and do this as a last-ditch effort. They did end up denying the Baron, taking that off the map as an option, so it's going to impact their pushing ability.
NIU turning their sights towards the Dragon. We do see a Camille TP into the back of the jungle, was pushing out that top lane. Miami doesn't have the ability to contest at the moment, so NIU going to pick up a free Dragon to sit them on Soul Point, with the next one coming in 4:45.
Yeah, and at this point, it's just kind of like, feels almost like an inevitability that they're going to find an angle. It feels like Miami is doing their best to put up a fight, make sure that this isn't easy. And in fact, they are pushing the mid lane, going to get that objective bounty through the mid outer turret. But there's more action towards the bot side.
Egoist caught out in the Hextech Ultimatum. A TP coming through from WGFY, but that's going to be too little, too late. WGFY caught by himself, uses the Hextech Ultimatum in return on the owner, but the Avengers are here. They're going to catch out the Camille. A huge shutdown going on to X. Beast Fridge and their sights. Hookshot and the Solar Flare will find a Heartbreaker. So much damage. That is 2 kills for X. MU clawing their way back into this one.
1,000 gold shutdowns. I believe both going to Viego, it looked like. So that is a massive news for Miami. That is a lot of items, but ideally you want it on the Yunara, but Viego, I mean, anyone's going to be happy to have that opportunity to get back into the game. They can use their grubs now, this crystalline overgrowth that they've accrued, still with the Baron buff, to try and push in these turrets, try and get as much back as they can. And still, with no soul, no Baron on the map, they're going to be able to use this. And that is a huge window now for Miami.
Yeah, with Camille down, they don't have the threat of the side lane pressure that they were having from earlier. And with this Baron, they're able to just burst these turrets down. That is going to be 3 turrets taken with the Baron buff, 2 in the bottom lane, 1 in the middle. And MU having a great move with this Baron, cutting down that gold lead by about 4K. Yeah, you can see it on the bottom of your screen there. Miami? I don't think they're out of this one just yet.
No, great play by Egoist to buy a ton of time on that bottom side, wait for his team to come collapse, and then having the numbers advantage, being able to pick up those huge shutdowns is going to be, I imagine, pretty consequential, because now NIU, with the position that they are in the game, going to have to play the waiting game for a lot of these objectives to come back online. So we'll see if Miami can make something out of nothing, because that play was exactly what they needed in order to have a sliver of light in this game.
Yeah, in that play in the bot lane as well, X has mitigated the entire gold lead that Evan had been accruing up to this point in the game.
It is a Sejuani, though.
It is a Sejuani. But X is ahead in gold now, which is good for the Viego and good for the side of Miami University. But something might be brewing here in the mid lane. Both teams 5 members strong. Both teams trying to get a little bit of vision, looking out for the flanks. Egoist not hitting the Q3 on to Evan, and both teams going to back off. Baron spawning here in 2 minutes. I'm sure that's the play that both teams are looking at.
Well, I mean, NIU has the choice to opt for the soul as well. They have the 3 Drakes that they have accrued, so they can really choose to either get the Baron, get that incredibly powerful pushing buff, or they can just opt for the soul, something permanent for the rest of the game that they in the Mountain Soul, incredibly powerful. So Miami really has to make a decision, either try and be aggressive and pick one or the other, or match NIU wherever they decide to be. But NIU is in the driver's seat at this point and can choose how to play this one out. As long as they go slow, as long as they don't have any silly mistakes, they can really dictate the pace of this game.
Yeah, well, we're 33 minutes into this game. NIU had an 8K gold lead at one point. You'd think that they'd be able to dictate.
It was up to 9K,
yeah, you'd think they'd be able to dictate the entire pace of play and everything that happens on this map. But, great play from Egoist, buying time, able to find the kill onto Swole Pingu for the side of Miami University. Really got them back into this game. I think if they're able to take down Swole Pingu again, claim that Baron, they might be able to push even more and get themselves into a more beneficial position, even more so than they already are. Beans just clearing some vision. Both teams setting up for whatever happens next.
Yeah, it looks like they are posturing more towards this bottom side. I guess both teams are, knowing that soul is so incredibly important and impactful. So Miami getting the first move here, but definitely still a little intimidated, rightly so, by this NIU parade that we are seeing come through from the mid lane.
Yeah, 3 members of Miami with 5 of NIU. Beans, X, and Solozak just forced to walk on out. Egoist pushing in that top lane. Meanwhile, Tebow on that MF is pushing in the mid lane for the side. But it looks like they're going to try to pincer in. Here comes the TP from Egoist all the way to the bottom side. NIU, it doesn't look like they want to fight this one. WGFY trying to find an ultimate to steal. Will engage. Will get the Alistar ultimate. Beans caught out. Is frontlining for the side of Miami University. Egoist going in with the unstoppable Beans in the center of everything, allowing so much time for Solozak to do whatever, but a huge Yone ultimate finds 3 for Miami. Meanwhile, on the top side of your screen, T-Bone is going to go and kill X. WGFY getting really low as well. In the middle of the fight, Solozak flashing in really aggressively, trying to pick up the kill onto the Alistar, but that is all the damage that Miami has. WGFY fighting as much as he can. Swolpinku picking up 1 onto Egos, a double kill for the Yone, and an ace seals it for Miami.
Yeah, as soon as they get on top of the Yanara, I mean, that really is just the nail in the coffin, like we said. It is so hard for Miami to play these fights after that Yanara falls, because really, if you look at their roster, like you said, there's just no other avenues. The Silas building so incredibly tanky, as well as the Viego just kind of losing their position in the game. And that will be it. I think that is enough for NIU to push this mid wave, take the inhib, and they are going to take game 2.
Solozak in Beans with 10 seconds on the death timer still. They won't be up in time, and even if they were, I don't think they'd have the force to kill these immovable objects. X is up, trying to do whatever he can. Misses everything onto Swolpinku. Swolpinku is going to go down at the very end of the game, but it's too little, too late. NIU moves up to 1. The series is tied.
Yeah, Miami trying to give us a little bit of hope towards the end there. Well played for them, staying scrappy, keeping their mental strong. And I really like the attempt and the angle there, but I think eventually you're just going to be held back by your draft, by the constraints of the champions that you have selected. And unfortunately, like we said, the Yanara going down, I mean, you can kind of wave bye-bye to your chances. But it's so impressive that they were able to be in a position where they could contest for that Drake and really get down to a nail-biting team fight towards the end, because, I mean, I just expected that to be kind of a soul-crushing defeat there. Really tough. But that really, I mean, in my mind, improves their mental going into a game 3 here, showing that they can still be competitive in such a dire situation. So really impressed from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, Miami playing off the back foot for most of that game, especially Egoist just getting bullied in the top lane. Can't really, I mean, this is the second game in a row that Egoist has just been getting bullied. Can't really CS. Swolpinku just asserting, that pressure and that lead. But there were signs of life, like you mentioned, for Miami. They were down 9K at one point, being able to cut that down in half with just 1 Baron. The team fights were a little bit, they looked a little bit off-centered or off-focused. Some of the communication issues maybe that we've been talking about. But there are signs of life. And I think Miami, if they can just bolster together, come together as a team, I think they can take this game 3.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there was a lot to be encouraged there. I think maybe look to try something new in the mid lane again. Once again, I think the Silas kind of struggled a little bit to find some more agency. And, I like the idea, but really it just didn't have the same kind of impact that we'd want to see. Really encouraged. Again, our bot lane is looking pretty stellar. I think throughout pretty much all the games that I've seen, with the exception of maybe that one.
The Jin game.
Yeah, the Jin game. We don't want to see that again. But, I'm really impressed, especially Egoist playing these weak side matchups and still finding a way to be so important in a lot of these pivotal moments, playing so incredibly well. I was getting chills with some of the top lane duels that we were seeing on Cassante versus that nightmare of a Camille champion. So definitely very encouraging, and I'm excited to see what game 3 will bring. Both these teams looking like powerhouses so far, and it's been great.
Yeah, this series is coming down to the nail biter. It is a nail biter series. It is a great series, and you don't want to miss this last game. We'll bring that one to you shortly, right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Miami University versus NIU. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Here we are in draft for game 3 between NIU and Miami University. The series is tied 1-1, and this one is going to decide it all.
Miami's having us work late, but I am here for it. We're seeing a lot of similar bans as we saw throughout these series. Gwen's still not going to be able to make an appearance, as well as the Talia. Mordekaiser, no shocker there. And like we said, we still have the Fearless, so a lot of the picks that we've seen previously are not available. We don't have the picks
from game two.
But yeah, you can just kind of fill in the blanks. Wasn't too long ago. Jinx again going to be the target. So Miami not opting to leave that one open because they are not on the blue side. I feel like whoever that pick was left open, that's one of the shared ones. So whoever's has first pick will lock that one down. But the Kog'Maw drafted.
Whoa. Okay, so Pantheon locked in for NIU. Pantheon is a kind of a weakness that we had against Miami University on Monday. Pantheon just kind of ran the team down in game 3. CMU was piloting that. But Kog'Maw and Volibear and Mundo, 3 champions that we have not seen from the side of Miami University this season. I don't think I've ever seen Solo Zach play Kog'Maw, but it kind of fits within his style of play.
Yeah, I mean the mobile hyper carry auto attacking champions. Civ are going to be kind of a mirror matchup there in that regard, kind of the scaling that you'd want to see. I am a little worried. I think Pantheon is really good and to a lot of just really good in general. He's a solid champ right now. I do like the Volibear. I'm curious to see what the pick order was. Not a champ I see a lot of recently. I actually imagine that's going top lane, and it is Mundo jungle. I have a pretty good feeling, but I could be wrong about that. Syndra, kind of a classic control mage with a scaling element to it as well. But the Urgot, I'm a big fan of Urgot. I love Urgot.
Urgot is something that we do know Swole Pingu plays a lot of, so I'm kind of nervous to see that matchup in the top lane. With the Urgot, I do think it actually will be the Mundo going to the top lane. Favorable matchup for the Mundo, but I do really like... We're getting word that Sivir was first pick of the draft, and Volibear, I believe, was last pick.
That makes me feel like it's top lane. Because I've seen Egoist play that champion before. They could flex and rotate it, but I feel like the Volley... I have a good feeling. We obviously the Cog paired with the Lulu, that's pretty stock standard there, as well as the hook coming through with the team. I really like the Nautilus here just because it acts as a pseudo like Vi for the Kog'Maw, kind of preventing him from just gliding through these fights like we saw he was able to do for at least a portion of last game. So it is a little bit of a disruptor. Mundo is going to be able to walk around in a lot of these fights. Good amount of CC. And we also see a lot of global presence from the NIU team as well. 2 global ultimates, essentially, or 2 long-range ultimates, allowing them to have first rotate on so many different parts of the map. So Miami is going to have to be very careful because we did see them get punished a lot of times with not even overextensions if you quantify it without a Pantheon in the game,
right?
But you have to be so much more. It's like an added layer of difficulty, and Miami needs to be able to adjust to that and have that kind of be the context regarding how they approach this, because it's so easy for him to just kind of pop up out of nowhere, even with the Rise now as additional backup, and you're dying before a crucial objective, and the game just gets so hard to play. So I think Mundo isn't going to struggle as much into stuff like that. Volibear has some escape tools, but Syndra, immobile champions, if you can't land that scout of the week, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. I'm looking at the side of Miami University. I do really like the Syndra pick for WGFY. Really like seeing him on these control mages type things that scale up and provide a lot of utility for the team. I'm just curious though, because Miami, I'm not seeing a lot of hard engage from their side. It seems like a lot of protection, a lot of single target stuff, but Northern Illinois, they have a lot of go buttons. They have the Realm Warp, they have the Grand Starfall, they have the hook from Nautilus. There's so many. They have the Sivir ultimate as well to chase them down. I just feel like there are so many go buttons for the Huskies, and Miami's more playing this counter.
Yeah,
they want to counter that engage with like the Lulu ult.
Yeah, they have a lot of disengage.
Yeah,
and they have a lot too. But I think NIU with their comp can also play that kind of sit back and wait position. Unless it's like me when I play Nautilus and I hook the first thing I see all the time. They can kind of be in the driver's seat once again and kind of dictate the fights on their terms, because they have a lot of abilities to kind of single out a target and just kind of play when it's most favorable for them. So we'll see. I mean, obviously you have the volley bear; he can maybe hop on people, but it is going to be kind of circumstantial with how they play these team fights. I think they're going to want to play for more of a 5v5 in some regards. Wait for that Syndra cog to come online, and then the Mundo and the volley bear can kind of just play around that. But it is difficult. I think the NIU comp is obviously very well rounded. That's something that you'd see in like a pro play context,
Yeah.
minus maybe the Urgot. But really, I mean, to me, this is a toss up. I think both teams kind of have an idea, but it is going to. I think what will decide this is how Miami decides to play around those roams, and how if they're careful enough in order to not make these big mistakes and then get sucked in when there is some kind of a rotate from the Pantheon or the Rise.
Yeah, I definitely think map play is going to be the name of the game at the beginning. Mundo looking like he can armor stack a little bit, seeing the Pantheon, Sivir, and Urgot, but Rise still doing a lot of damage with the QE combo. But when it comes to team fights, I think it's going to be whoever can gun down the ADC first. I mean, Sivir, if they're all grouped up, will just shred a team with the Ricochet, with the Boomerang Blade. Myself, as a Sivir enthusiast, just know how powerful that champion can be. But Kog'Maw, I don't know if either of the Hydras are still in the Kog'Maw build, where you go Runans and either one of the Hydras to output damage like that. It's kind of like a pseudo Ricochet, pseudo AoE damage. Like I said, not certain if Kog'Maw does that these days.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
But I think it's going to be whoever guns down the ADC first, because I mean both teams have really strong scaling AD carries. They are going to be the ones doing a lot of the damage over the long term. Yes, because the Pantheon is a lot of burst. The Rise is kind of a lot of burst.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the I'm missing the word, but the more long term solution in terms of damage.
Yeah, and I think the Syndra and the Rise are good backbones in terms of maybe not being as immediately impactful, but I like that a lot more than I like something like a Silas with Aurora.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
To draw from a random example, but yeah, I think that Syndra kind of has some guaranteed value. I think it that can act as a functional pseudo engage in a way. If you get a really good stun on a priority target, that can kind of be the incentive for your team to start a fight. So while there isn't as direct form like a Nautilus or an engaged champion that is super black and white, I think that there is definitely ways for Miami to start scuffles and come out on top. So I'm encouraged to see, and I think it really is going to come down to a hands diff in this one. So whoever can kind of execute these fights with as little mistakes as possible.
But here we go. This is game 3 between the NIU Huskies and the Miami University Redhawks.
And Solo Zach getting a little bit bold here. Walking up is going to be on vision, so he's got to be careful. But Sivir not exactly a powerhouse level 1 either. Lulu as well in the area, just playing bodyguard. And it will be that Mundo in the jungle. So it will be, as I thought, the volley bear
prediction.
top. Yeah, I've just seen Egoist play that one before. I feel like I've played in a game with him, and he's played that.
Egoist getting a little too far up in lane. Do see that he has opted for the exhaust in this matchup. Taking a little bit of a look at runes, though, everything looks pretty standard across the board. Don't see any oddities. WGFY opting for the phase rush on that Syndra, but we do see Egoist already getting zoned off of the wave, painful, as we've seen in the 2 games before.
Yeah, Swolpingo not actually opting to hit a ton of the minions himself, just kind of denying XP both ways, which is a little interesting. But you know what? Getting Egoist outside of XP range is kind of the goal. You want to Urgot, you definitely want to prioritize hitting that level 2 and making it easy for you to go for kind of an all-in trade very early on. He has that ignite. So yeah, Ego is going to be cautious of that, just kind of try and stay in XP range to get the level 2 of his own. And yeah, this is kind of a dicey lane. Obviously, never going to be fun to play into a ranged top laner. Urgot is such a lane bully, similar to most of the champions that Swolpangu has opted for.
Yeah, looking here on the bot lane, both teams level 2. Didn't look like not a cool dude was able to land a hook onto either member of the Redhawks. No flashes, no summoners burned there. Taking a look at junglers, though, I believe X started at the blue buff, worked his way up, and Evan did as well. So both of these junglers are going to be looking here in the top lane matchup. Egoist getting a stun onto Swole Pingu, trying to chase him down, pinging for an assist we did see. But things are pretty calm here just to start things off. Egoist down in XP, just hitting level 3 as Swole Pingu had already established that. But things look pretty even. I think things are really going to break open once these junglers start getting into the game, as we see X starting to move down.
Yeah, looking to make a play with Egoist into the jungle of NIU, and now he's going to be zoned off of his own blue buff, is able to get a ward down, and now we see Rise starting to roam as well. So maybe just kind of a disruption there. Blue buff is going to reset, but now Swole Pingu.
They do get the reset onto the blue buff, but that is not their priority at this moment. Swole Pingu is going to walk away. Evan flashes over the wall, will get the kill onto Egoist. That is not what you want to see, but WGFY is here to back up. X throwing out those cleavers. The briefcase is trying to do whatever he can. Beans getting really low, but Solozak flashing aggressively. Doesn't have the damage after the barrier from T-Bone. Solozak pops his own barrier and tries to walk out. Not a cool dude. Pretty healthy. Though. Yeah, action in the top lane, in the jungle still. WGFY getting real cute with that Pantheon and that Rise. Beans and Solozak at risk of a hook from the Nautilus. No flashes on Sivir. No summoners on Sivir. Evan forced to back off of this blue buff,
Stealing
and
that
X is going to pick that up. A lot of damage, a lot of summoners used for only a blue buff for Miami University.
Yeah, I really don't know if I super enjoy the methodology of kind of like coin flipping the game so early and having the Rise, knowing he's on the first move. Syndra communicating that probably is a little worrisome. Picking up the kill is that Rise, and any kind of gold that he gets is able to accelerate him, get him that tier, start that early sacking process. And we do see a trade of summoners in the bot lanes. Solzak still has his ghost available, and the red buff, or the blue buff, sorry, still being stolen. So that is good, but I feel like giving Rise a kill early on is never something that you want to see, and Miami not actually finding anything back, looking like they were scuffling for quite a long period of time. And the large raptor going to go over to Mundo there.
WGFY finding some damage onto Beast Fridge, but X is building up a nice little lead here. Was able to take the blue buff, was able to take those raptors away as well. So getting some CS and denying some from Evan at the same time. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Ego is still struggling to find some CS here, and Swole Pingu again has full domination of this lane.
Yeah, keeps playing these such oppressive picks, and it's so hard for Egoist. He just kind of has to wait to get to a point where he can take more even trades, because with that PTA, it's so hard, and the Ignite as well, currently not up. But when he gets level 6 Swole Pingu, it's so easy for him to just look for an all-in angle whenever at all possible, because with that execute, it's just like a Garen combo. You just kind of have to get them to that threshold, and it just gets even worse for a period of time.
Yeah, one thing we didn't touch on in draft was the polymorph from the Lulu. That's going to be a key ability in these fights, taking out either one of the damage dealers or one of the tanks. Maybe the Urgot, and so they don't have to worry about that ultimate. But we see Evan up here on the top lane looking at Egos. Meanwhile, Miami's just going to take that dragon for now.
Yeah, Egos has to be careful with how he pushes up. Does have that ward in the closer bush, but if he gets any closer, I think he is wise to the fact that Evan might be nearby. He uses the lightning in that bush there, and that may have just been a coincidence, or he may have just known.
I mean, I think that's a great use of the ability from Egoist, scouting out a little bit of the lane with the use of that ability. We do see that MU was able to pick up that first strike. It was a cloud. Mountain will be on the board at 430, but X here taking the red buff. Not a cool dude. Pathing around to see if anything. Lands a hook onto Bean. Solozak is here to support X on the back, and Evan did just take that red buff. Solozak pumping out so much damage. The slow, the polymorph on to Not a Cool Dude. Forced to flash over the wall. T-Bone taking some damage as well. The range extension from the Lulu. Able to help out that Kog'Maw quite a bit. But Solozak getting a nice trade in onto the bot side of NIU.
Yeah, and I think this is what, I mean, if you're saying this from your bot lane, I think they're playing with such good confidence right now, and I think they have been the whole series. So I think for me, if I was in the comms right now, I'd say let's slow things down. Let's try and, our bot lane is just playing better. in most of these scenarios. So let's not try to shift things up too quickly. Let's keep stacking these objectives, keep going for plays that are safe but also effective around the map, and then let our bot lane do the heavy lifting when things start to matter.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow game to start things off. Not a lot of kills going on the board. Egoist, of course, getting first blooded, but that was from kind of a messy skirmish in that blue buff jungle area. So not a lot of mistakes being made. Scatter the Weak coming out, but here comes Egoist ulting, doing the full combo onto Swolpengu. Swolpengu popping the ultimate onto Egoist, drops the Ignite as well, but the Grand Starfall from Evan pops in support. Excuse me, Swolpengu there using the ultimate, going wide, allows Egoist to walk away. Beast Fridge caught in a bad area. WGFY doesn't find the Scatter of the Weak onto Beast Fridge, and Egoist is just going to walk out of that. They do want the grubs, and I believe that Miami will be able to take them off of that.
Yeah, Urgot pushing in that top wave, though, in the meantime. But really what looked like initially a pretty disastrous situation, Egoist once again able to turn that into something more manageable by pathing back and making really clever use of his flash and getting out, and obviously the ultimate from Urgot not connecting, that's going to go wide. So yeah, going on the offensive there ends up working out. He's still down quite a bit of CS, 500 gold down in this lane, but really making it look like it's pretty even in those trades.
Yeah, and the map play from Miami is helping out a lot. Cloud Drake, now these grubs as well. The next dragon up in 2 minutes. I'm sure the Redhawks will shift their sights to that. But this is kind of what we mentioned in draft. Miami needs to have full dominion of this Summoner's Rift in the beginning of the game, because we know that once the Grand Starfall and the Realm Warps are on those shorter cooldowns, NIU is going to have a lot more control over the pace of the game and these objectives.
Yeah, and not to say that Miami scales or doesn't scale as well, but I think taking what you're able to get when these things are on cooldown or when they aren't as potent, I absolutely agree. I think they need to kind of set the pace in terms of how things are going to go. And both these champions in the mid lane are going to develop into pretty scary threats, but it is something that takes time.
We see X here on the top lane. Swolpengu, an early flash, doesn't want anything to do with the Mundo. And of course, as we know, Mundo goes wherever he pleases. But Egoist just now being able to CS some, cutting that lead down from Swolpengu just a little bit. I think Miami is playing this one fairly well considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I feel like they heard me. They are looking for plays when needed and not trying to force anything right off the bat. But we do see Pantheon getting a flash out of Syndra in the mid lane there, trying to go aggressive, but not finding much. That is going to be flashes traded, though, so not the end of the world.
WGFY still hanging around here a little bit, is respecting the ability for Pantheon to just jump onto that Syndra. So just trying to clear the wave before maybe resetting here. But things are pretty calm overall. Looking at the bot lane, not a cool dude. Seems like he's looking for a hook angle, but the Redhawks do have vision in that middle brush, which does cut down a lot of the kill potential from that Nautilus.
Yeah, I know. Playing around the bushes is kind of the bread and butter of some of these hook champs in order to catch people off guard. We see the Phaelite going to be used there by Beans, getting some more vision. And we have to imagine Miami is going to look towards the next Drake spawning in 25 seconds, wanting to have good position. But then again, they have invested a lot in this Drake stacking. It has been beneficial for them, but we'll see if they feel comfortable going for that. Pantheon in his top set, but that Grand Starfall makes it's such an X factor. He can relocate within the blink of an eye.
11 minutes in, 1 kill in the game. The pace is going a lot slower than we saw in these previous games. Egoist taking some damage from Swolpengu, but things look to be pretty even. But we do see that the Rise and the Pantheon are roaming up to the top. We might have a dive. The Redhawks are able to take this dragon for free, which will help. Egoist trying to clear the minions just so they aren't able to dive to the best of their ability. Swolpengu still hanging around. Beast Fridge, 3 members, but Egoist doing a great job at clearing that. Here comes WGFY. As for support, though, Egoist is going to dive and stun up the Pantheon, and that is a net positive for the Redhawks.
So well played from Egoist. They're clearing up that wave to not allow any window for a dive.
But WGFY wants more. Finds a Scout of the Week onto Swolpengu, but the Fear Beyond Death lands. Egoist running away, knowing what will happen. Beast Fridge picking up the kill onto that edge. Excuse me, Swolpengu did not use the Fear Beyond Death, but picked up the kill on WGFY anyway. Meanwhile, we do see Mundo clearing that mid wave, but Beast Fridge still hanging around. Egoist has to pay some respect. There goes Swolpengu. fired the button. Egoist popping the ghost, or excuse me, Rise popping the ghost, trying to do some damage. But that is the fear beyond death, and a kill for the Urgot in the top lane.
Yeah, well, cheeky play there from NIU, hanging around in the bush with the Rise, and that was all they needed to get the damage down in order to be past the engaged threshold. Really unfortunate. What looked like a really amazing turn from Miami was, in fact, turned into something negative, taking both kills down, or both kills to NIU there on the top side of the map, and a net positive 800 gold off the back of that play. So Zach's still playing pretty comfortable down here, but at the end of the day, it is into a Sivir rather than something like a Misfortune. So both, a comfortable lane is desirable for both members. So really, I mean, if I was solo Zach, I just want to see my team making good plays, and that it was a good play. It just, unfortunately, NIU was able to twist it to their advantage.
Yeah, we see some lane quests coming in. Completed solo Zach just finished up his, is going to be getting more gold from these minions, so that's going to help get him a little bit further beyond in this game. We do see that Swell Pingu does have the teleport, meanwhile Egoist does not. So they do have the map advantage, NIU does, if something does happen here. The Grand Starfall, the Realm Warp, and now the TP all up. But there's no objectives on the board until Rift Herald is up in another minute and a half.
Yeah, and Miami's still prioritizing that dragon stacking. We're able to get the Cloud Drake that was spawned during that sequence of events. No, it's not a total loss with what happened towards the top side, and that will make NIU have to shift their game plan a little, start having to contest these Drakes more heavily, which is always going to be a positive for Miami if they want to look to team fight. I think they have a pretty amazing team fight composition. I think a lot of the strengths of NIU don't really show as much in a team fight setting, especially at this point in the game. The Grand Starfall is definitely more of a pick tool.
X caught out in a bad position, but the spell shield will help to escape a little bit. 3 members surrounded, but is able to walk out. Scout of the Week won't hit on Beast Fridge. I thought it did, but unfortunately it did not. But Beans is hanging around the area. Meanwhile, it's an AD carry 1v1 in the bot lane. Both just trying to get their gold and trying to scale up. Rift Herald up in 20 seconds. Devin, do you think we'll see a fight here soon?
I think both teams have, especially Miami, have tried to prioritize this objective, but at the same time, usually it's come at the cost of like first tower for Miami somewhere on the map. I don't know if that's going to be the case here. Nautilus making a play on him.
Using the depth charge onto solo Zach, and as an immobile Kog'Maw, there is just not much you can do. The Ignite ticks are going down. Is able to escape using the Ghost, trying to pump as much damage. He has some fancy feet. Will he be able to get this kill? And he does. A huge kill for Zolozak. That's 2 for the Kog'Maw.
A disgusting outplay there. And meanwhile, in the top side, Ego is taking down Urgot, and I believe it looks like, did they steal it? Nope, they still have not taken it. But now that is Rift Herald and a clean fancy feat from Ego Solozak to make the huge outplay in the bot lane, baiting them to come closer under tower and just making the plays necessary, and that is disastrous for NIU.
Solozak just dancing around that tower, dancing around the hook and the boomerang, and man, he picks up 2 off of that. That is going to accelerate this Kog'Maw into this game. Blade of the Ruined King completed. That helps a lot with the immobility issues of Solozak. It was both summoners used, but man, that was so exciting to see.
Yeah, I can't think of a better use out of both summoners. And it was just, he was able to get both. Once again, kind of using himself as bait. I think he's so good with some of the psychological aspects of playing AD carry. You kind of have to be, that, like I said, that carrot. And use yourself as kind of like, as a lamb to the slaughter. Oh no, I made a misplay. And that last tick of the night just wasn't enough, and that was enough for them to try and justify the dive. And he just made them look foolish.
Beans getting hooked by not a cool dude. And of course, Miami off the back foot of that with the kills onto the bot lane and onto Swole Pingu were able to pick up the Rift Herald and are now putting their sights on this drag. Not a cool dude hovering in this bush. A TP coming down as well. I believe that'll be Swole Pingu on the bottom of your screen. X is able to claim that for the side of the Redhawks. Swole Pingu is here now.
Yeah,
but they don't want
to get kills here, or to make this worth it.
Ego is trying to run down, but they don't want anything to do with it. They are going to pop the Rift Herald, which might have been a little bit too overzealous, but they could use this to charge in. Solozak trying to clear this wave to get some more support, so they could look for a dive here, but they're just going to let that one charge go through.
Yeah, a little bit of it, caught up in the excitement there to pop the Rift Herald.
And on the top side, Eguis is able to use his teleport to get in there. I don't know if NIU has the resources right now to use it. They do have the Grand Starfall on that Pantheon, but that's a cooldown that you don't really want to use to match Egoist here. That is a huge kill potential ultimate. In the mid lane, Beastridge trying to there is the Grand Starfall onto Solozak. What we just mentioned about the kill potential. Solozak getting burst down. The shutdown going over to Evan. Kog'Maw passive trying to kill Evan on the back end, but Egoist, yes, picking up first turret in the top side. It's a kill. It's a 500 gold shutdown for a turret. Think it's worth?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously a lot invested there to kill the Kog'Maw, making sure to not give anything else is Miami, so very well played there. And yeah, I think smart use of the TP, knowing that it was invested by the Urgot for basically no reason, or weren't really able to contest that Drake, and that would put Miami on Soul Point. And this is a Ocean Soul, so incredibly strong. I think it benefits Miami's team comp so well. I think Egoist and the Mundo are just going to be so excited to get that online. So yes, this last Drake is going to be a bloodbath, and IU knows they have to contest this at this point in the game. And Baron are going to be another factor that both teams have to keep in mind in the next 1 minute 25 seconds going to be available on the map. Baron now spawns at 20 minutes instead of a little bit later in the game.
That's a great point you bring up with the Ocean Soul on the Mundo. Ocean Soul, of course, benefits your healing. It makes your healing that much better, and it gives you extra healing after landing abilities and such. Mundo with the Ocean Soul is
just
nearly unkillable, and the ultimate heals Mundo up that much more. Definitely want to see some anti-heal if you're a Husky fan. But yeah, that Mundo, if Miami is able to get the Ocean Soul, will be a huge benefit for the team.
And fortunately, I think Sivir has some of the best application of Grievous Wounds in the entire game.
Oh, absolutely.
Up there with like champions like Zyra and Brand. But even then, I think it's just you don't want to see a beefed up Mundo with Ocean Soul running at you at any time. So definitely something that NIU will keep their eyes on. I'm really encouraged. I think Miami's playing the map so well just throughout this game. And yeah, I just think keep minimizing mistakes. I think the Pantheon hasn't been that much of a factor at this point in the game. I never want to say anything to jinx it. He's trying to maybe look for something cheeky here on the bot side, using that Fog of War, Grand Starfall. I believe, is it still on cooldown? I can't even tell if that's
I can't tell if that's the spear or the timer.
It's so tough.
Solozak and Beans paying respect to what could come out from that Pantheon. But yeah, like you mentioned, this Pantheon isn't making the same statement and effect in this game like it did, like CMU's jungler Pride did in that game 3. Yeah, I was thinking about that one. Oh, it was a nightmare in my dreams.
Yeah, that's like the LCK. That's some use that champion to its fullest extent. It's just so scary.
WGFY finding a quick scatter the weak on to Beastridge, but that phase rush just makes that rise so quick
and the boots
so nimble. Yeah, it's going to be hard to pin down Beastridge in this game.
So he's going to pick up that Seraphs there, it looks like. Yeah, after fully stacking that tier. So 2 items online, both the stacking items. Rise is slowly but surely going to be a bit of a threat for Miami to watch out for. So even more incentive for them to take down this next objective, whether it be the Baron or the Ocean Soul, coming up now in 52 seconds. So keeping an eye on that. Beans trying to clear out some vision here and making sure they're just in a good spot to set up for this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, Baron is up, but I kind of want to roll back to a point you made earlier about Sivir just being one of those champions that can apply Grievous Runes very quickly. I mean, the Ricochet is able to spread that if they choose to build that, which they probably should. But Rise is also one of those champions with the EQ spreading to many different champions. So they have 2 really good answers to this Mundo if they do choose to build those Grievous Wounds. But here we see the Ocean Drake spawning in 15 seconds, and the Redhawks absolutely want this one in their back pocket.
Yeah, for sure. This is just such a game changer at this point in the game, and it would make it that much harder for NIU to ever feel confident in these team fights. And the Ocean Soul, regardless, is just going to be a permanent buff. That is something that always will be a factor. So definitely posturing towards this. And now we see NIU trying to gain some ground, trying to get control. But Miami has control, crucially, of that banana or the brush over there. That is the crux to a lot of these successful team fights towards this side of the map.
WGFY, maybe not in the best positioning in the world, can get caught out by a hook. Same with Beans, but there we see a flash in. They do. The NIU is able to steal the Ocean Drake. Solozak, however, is doing his best to pump in as much damage as possible. Rise on the back end. Beastridge is pumping so much damage into this team. Double kill for the Syndra. Soul Pingu picks one up onto Solozak, but Miami is able to take down the rest of the members, barring Beastridge. Beastridge is out of there.
Yeah, so crucially was able to steal the Drake. Pantheon getting in there at the last second, getting the smite off. So Miami will not walk out with the soul, but does get a large, a near ace. Barely able to make it out is Beastridge with the Realm Warp. Looks like they will get maybe at least this mid tower as a consolation prize. And yeah, I mean, overall still good. Plus 1K for the side of Miami, but it will put a dampener on the soul stacking for now.
Yeah, it was a 1 or 2 for 4 members for NIU. Unfortunately, wasn't able to secure the dragon, but it's not the end of the world. That's the first dragon for NIU. Another Drake's going to be up in 4. And they take 2 towers, Miami does, on the back end. They get the mid lane. They do get the bot lane as well. Building up a 2K gold lead, Miami seems to be able to kind of dictate the pace of play, but got to give Evan some credit on that great steal, getting right into the middle of things.
Yeah, the confidence to go up there knowing that if you don't hit that, that could just be not only the soul going over, but also just maybe a clean ace and the opportunity to team fight after. Definitely saving grace there for NIU. Going to feel a little bit better, having a little bit more breathing room, but Beans and the rest of Miami knowing that they can kind of just walk with impunity almost throughout these jungle. They have so much power right now, up 1.5k gold, being able to buy a lot off the back of that fight. And now Evan and Not a Cool Dude having to go see if they're up to any shenanigans on this top side of the map.
Miami securing that Scuttle Crab, the Void-empowered Scuttle Crab. More vision, of course. The Baron is up. I'm sure that is the objective both teams are looking at right now. Both top laners on the bot side of the map trying to push their respective waves. To see Egoist getting kind of aggressive here. Egoist just slapping as much as he can out of Swole Pingu, but that Iceborne Gauntlet is doing so much work in slowing Swole Pingu. Swole Pingu, however, does have the fully finished W, is able to just auto as much as he can. Egoist doing so much healing, forces the Grand Starfall from Evan out. Swole Pingu trying to find the kill, doesn't have the flash to follow up on Swole Pingu's. Egoist trying to heal up off of this. This is disgusting how much healing that I'm seeing coming out of Volibear right now. That is not okay.
No.
That is not okay.
Yeah, he only has 2 completed items, folks, and that means with the Pantheon relocating towards the bot side, Miami is able to comfortably start up this Baron. Beastridge in the area, though, they are going to converge.
Yes, with Evan not there, Miami is able to have the smite advantage on this Baron. Not a Cool Dude finding the hook. Mundo able to secure Miami's the Baron for Miami, but here comes Egoist trying to burst down Beastridge. The ultimate on Beans used on herself to knock some members up. Egoist doing his best. X taking down T-Bone. Egoist still slapping Rise. Another kill going over to the Mundo. Meanwhile, Solozak's doing whatever he can to take down Not a Cool Dude. That is 3 for Miami.
And Egoist may have just won my player of the match vote as well as this game for Miami. They're going to be able to siege with this Baron. Not a ton of damage to the turrets at this point in time, but they might be able to pick up an inhib and maybe more. We'll see. I don't believe they can end with the respawn timers that we're looking at right now, but it's a huge play there to be able to use the time that Egoist brought, basically 2v1ing. That was disgusting, the amount of healing he was able to get on that Volibear. And now they're going to reap the rewards, up 6k off of this Baron, and they are going to back out with that.
Yeah, notably, WGFY also teleported down to the bot lane to try to push that in. They'll try to grab this one as well. But I'm kind of surprised that NIU doesn't have any healing reduction on any of their members 20 minutes into this game, 26 minutes into this game, when you see a Volibear, when you see a Mundo, 2 champions that just heal up so much. It's kind of a misplay from the side of the Huskies.
Yeah, that could have been all they needed to turn that fight around, make it positive, be able to actually take down Egoist in that bot lane. Oh, hold on.
Oof. A hit onto WGFY. Has the phase rush, is able to get out of there. A Realm Warp, really aggressive. WGFY did see that and opted to path a different way. Kind of a wasted Rise ultimate. Avoids the hook as well. WGFY is out of there. X is here for backup. Has the briefcases. Has the Excel sheets. Solozak is here as well. Is trying to fight this. He's going to pop his abilities, doing as much damage as he can. Meanwhile, not a cool dude on the top of your screen getting caught out, and I think it's just going to be one kill going over to the side of the Redhawks.
That's Soul.
And they're going to pick up the Soul on the back end of this. The Redhawks are in the driver's seat of this match, looking to end this one.
NIU saw blood with the Syndra, tried to get on top of it, but Miami's mid laner has been just so clutch with these Scout of the Weeks in the team fights and in the side lanes. And Egoist is not done. He's looking for more on the side. EVN going to try and stop him with the stun up, but he's going for more. Buffed up by this Lulu. Look at him. He's just such a menace on the side lane, and don't put this guy in this bot lane. He's just going to do so much work.
Egoist has been put in the corner this entire series, and now he is able to break out to the top laner that we know and love. He is in the driver's seat. 1.1k gold up, but this Mundo doing so much work as well. This is kind of the team that we saw in game 1, not so much in game 2, but this is the communication that we want to see from this team.
Yeah, just playing smart, minimizing mistakes when you're up, knowing how to use your lead to its utmost effectiveness. With the Soul now, it just seems like a matter of time. Miami is going to just reap the rest of the gold on this map. And man, have they just been able to kind of, whenever it looks a little bit dicey, turn things around and twist it to their advantage. And I'm just so impressed with, I mean, and this is just such a team statement as well. I think that each individual member has had moments in this game where they're contributing and making it so much of a decisive victory.
Yes, Miami playing a really great team game like we mentioned before. We talked about map control a lot, and as you can see from the objective counters, 4 dragons, 3 grubs. They got the Rift Herald as well. They got a Baron as well.
35 plates.
35 plates. This is insanity.
Yeah, they just found all the sources of income across the map. Corporate Mundo said we need to invest, and it has been paying dividends for them. A 7k gold lead, and that is just going to make it that much harder for NIU to establish their presence along this map, try and recoup a lot of any kind of income in this game.
Yeah, I'm sure this startup will be a Fortune 500 company in no time. Meanwhile, Miami still looks to close this one out. Egoist on the bot side of the map, pushing that one in. Try to increase shareholder value as much as he can.
Yeah, we do finally see the Grievous being built on the Sivir. A little bit too late in my mind, but obviously would have liked to see that earlier. We do see the double Spirit Visage on the top side of MU. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's better late than never. And they are sieging towards the top side of this map, trying to get some poke in on these turrets. They don't have any Baron or anything like that, so Sivir can kind of eat through these waves, so it will be a little bit harder to siege. But we have Egoist in the bot side, matching up with the Urgot familiar sight there, and Super Millions spilling in through the mid lane.
Egoist getting a little bit aggressive onto Swole Pingu, has to ultimate out, can't disable that turret. But going back to the items like you were saying, this Ocean Soul has allowed for X not to build the Warmox. He doesn't have to build that because he has so much healing as is from the Ocean Drake. So went from the Heartsteel to the Spirit Visage to the Randuin's Omen.
Yeah, Miami right now not really in a position to end until they get that Baron. They need those long-range cannon minions in order to not be just wiped by the Sivir. I mean, by nature, as her champion, she is masterful at wave clear. It's going to make it really hard to get the minions in close proximity to actually take out these towers. So yeah, Miami, you know, definitely still in the driver's seat, but they are going to have to find a way to facilitate the actual destroying of the Nexus.
Yeah, taking a look at this gold graph as well, you can see where NIU is kind of building an advantage in the top lane. But once Miami started playing the objective game, started winning these fights, it's just gotten way out of control to a point that the Huskies are really playing off of a back foot. And Miami can kind of do whatever they want in this game.
Yeah.
We see them not even getting a pick before starting this Baron. They're just going to try to burst it down.
Yeah, and there's really isn't much in terms of course of action but to give and try to hunker down and clear these waves and try to push them back. Urgot we see trying to thin it out in the bot side. And yeah, as you can see with the Fog of War, there really isn't just any opportunities for NIU to even get vision. But you can only assume that as the Baron is at spawn, they're just going to take that immediately, which they have. And now are barreling towards this mid lane, going to get the inhibitor back again. I believe it has respawned.
Yeah, Baron up for the next 3 minutes. Miami doing whatever they can. X getting engaged upon by the the Pantheon. There is so much happening in the middle of this fight, but we do see Egos doing whatever he can. Beastrich taking down Solozak, the Urgot, Fear Beyond Death, finding Beans and fearing the rest of the squad, but Egos just has so much healing. Look at X, he hasn't taken any damage in this fight. WGFY, the only damage-dealing member left, and that was a really aggressive look from the side of Miami University. Evan finding a crucial pick, and the Fear Beyond Death landing onto Lulu. Ooh.
Yeah, a great Nautilus ult there. Two of the carries, the backline carries being knocked up, and it is just a bit of an overcommit. They thought that with the Baron, they could just kind of march in. They still have to play these team fights correctly. They do have a 5K gold lead, but giving some crucial money back to the side of NIU there, and now losing some of the Baron-empowered members. Not the end of the world by any means, but you maybe get a little overexcited from the side of Miami, but still firmly in control of this game.
Yeah, with that play with the Baron, Miami did lose about 1.7K of their gold lead.
And Elder spawning in 30. They're going to lose position on that as well. And it really will just come down to a flip. Not exactly what you want to see from Miami, just because you were in such... I mean, they couldn't even move. So making it a little bit harder than necessary. Still definitely going to be favored in this fight, but without any vision, they're walking in blind. And it really is going to come down to more of a 50-50.
Phalites into that brush will highlight the river, but NIU has some pretty favorable terrain here in this river. X trying to put some vision down. They do have a control where they can see everything now. I think it's a game of protect the president. Solozak can't be engaged upon, has to just fire out from the back line. We see Swole Pengu on the back end, is going to look for a flank angle maybe. I'm not sure where WGFY is at the moment. I believe he's at the top of your screen, kind of separated out. Nautilus ult onto one-man Egoist. That is a crucial ability burn. WGFY found the Scattering the Weak onto Evan. But we see that Not a Cool Dude engages upon WGFY. Meanwhile, Egoist jumps in. Egoist getting shredded down. The Lulu ult used onto Mundo. Mundo just barreling through this lane. Beastridge getting chunked to half health. Gets the kill. Egoist and Solozak tag team to do that. But X, look at this Mundo. He just has so much healing. Finds the slow onto the Urgot, and that is going to be the game. Miami University finds a way to win this game. It's 2-1, and now Miami moves up in ESC League of Legends.
Miami, the Cardiac kids, finding a way to play with my heart, making me think that there was a chance that they could let this one slip through their fingers, but no, they proved all the doubters wrong, moving up to 2-1 now with their record, and such a good game there, such a statement win, showing that they can close it out in a clean fashion. And that's what I like to see in a gold draft. I think that it was very good to point that out, because it wasn't that huge fluctuation, like a huge spike that we see after like a team fight where they managed to just play better. It was a consistent buildup of a lead and a snowball that they had accumulated. That is clean league that we want to see. We don't want to see it based off of an entire like hunch that we will perform better in a team fight. We want it to be a gradual, we know how to play the map better, we can get the objectives, we can really be the ones who are more decisive. And that's what I want to see. That is professional League of Legends. That is at a collegiate and professional level.
Yeah, some great map play, even in Game 1 and Game 3. I think that's Miami's path to victory in this ESC conference. I mean, we've played some great teams so far. CMU put up a great fight. Northern Illinois put up a great fight. GG's to everyone there. We have some friends there, of course, great friends of the program. But, I mean, Devin, of course, Beans, stellar performance Game 1 on that Janna. Can't forget that performance. Game 2, a little bit dicey. But X and Egoist kind of coming to top of mind in Game 3. Who do you got as your player of the series?
Player of the series for Game 3, I think it's got to go to Egoist. I think this guy has just been, he was such a nightmare in the side lane, and he was able to recoup just after such a deficit going into that Urgot. I know the feeling of facing up, like just completely zoned off the wave at level 1, wasn't even able to get the XP range, and to come back in such a fierce way. And he just elevated the rest of his team, was able to get them in a position to secure Baron the first time, was able to just draw so much attention. But I really liked the mid laner, as well. I think his Scout of the Weeks were so clutch in so many different scenarios, was able to also kind of act as the bait and get NIU to overextend on crucial moments and key timings in the game, secure soul for his team. So again, across the board, a team win, very well played in all facets. So I'm very satisfied. So glad that we were able to go to, I guess, from what we can call a best of 3 silver scrapes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoy, and that's just clean league. It's a game that you like to see, and a very high note to end it on tonight.
Yes, it was a great series. I mean, you saw me; I was up and out of my chair,
Yeah,
especially
he
on
was
that
getting into it.
that solo Zach
Cogma,
double kill. Oh my gosh,
that's the greatest thing we've had. I mean, it's been a short season, granted. We're only that's our third series, but man,
that's a highlight. That's a highlight.
Chat, clip that. Anyway, but yes, hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to follow us at RedHawksGG, Twitter. What else?
We have games next week, Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be playing Monday against Western Michigan University, and then on Wednesday, that's a match you don't want to miss. We are playing Ball State, the one team that was able to take a series off of the Redhawks last season. So those are two matchups you do not want to miss. But in the meantime, my name has been Isaac Rhythm Arredondo.
And I'm Devin, TheDoc O'Connor.
And we thank you all for watching, and we hope that you guys have a great night.